Check, 1, 2. Play-by-play. Check, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Check 1, 2, play by play. Right here with you. Check 1, 2.
Despite being two of the longest-standing HBCU football programs in the country, teams representing Bethune-Cookman University and Jackson State University did not meet on the gridiron until 1972. Since then, the Tigers and Wildcats have played just 9 times, with Jackson State holding a 6-3 advantage in the series. But for tonight's cold open, I wanted to talk about one specific game, one of the biggest wins in BCU football history. In the MEAC SWAC Challenge in 2019, the two soon-to-be conference rivals faced off in Atlanta, and when Jackson State took a 9-0 lead just after halftime, the Maroon and Gold turned on the afterburners, grabbing 2 pick sixes en route to scoring the game's final 29 points and leaving Georgia State Stadium with a 36-15 win. A lot has happened to both programs since that day. They've both seen former NFL superstars come and go. They both have new head coaches leading their alma maters for the first time, and they both support many new players on their roster. But one thing remains the same from that summer night in Atlanta 4 years ago. It will take players stepping up in pressure situations to give Coach Woody his first SWAC conference win. Live from Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium, just outside Jackson, Mississippi, this evening's presentation of Bethune-Cookman University Athletics on CatEye Network Radio and 1380 WELE is on the air. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Truvello. Happy to have your company. You will also hear from analyst Chris Shaw throughout the evening as well. The Bethune-Cookman Wildcats are 1-2 on the young season and head into conference play with a cloud of uncertainty hovering overhead. This will be the first true test for head coach Raymond Woody's Wildcats, as their first 3 games against Memphis, Savannah State, and Miami have done little to bring the picture of what this team will be into focus. That picture got even muddier last Thursday in South Florida versus Miami, as quarterbacks Luke Sprague, who led BCU to victory against Savannah State, and Tyleek Bethea both went down with injuries. While it is unclear what the long-term status of those 2 players is, both are unavailable this evening. That puts the weight of leadership back on the shoulders of Walter Simmons, a Central Florida prospect who redshirted at East Carolina this season. Simmons started and played most of the game against Memphis, then played the first quarter against Savannah State before being replaced by Luke Sprague. On the season, Simmons is 15 of 19 passing for 119 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. Simmons' greatest asset is in the running game, where he has 16 carries for 30 yards and the lone touchdown against the Hurricanes last week. Simmons will have to rely on his other offensive weapons to get the job done, like running back Juvensley Bazul, who has 100 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, and a 40-yard reception versus Miami that set the Wildcats up in the red zone and led to the Simmons touchdown. Another name to watch out for is receiver Dakari Allen Johnson, who has both of BCU's receiving touchdowns this year, both coming against Savannah State. I spoke to head coach Raymond Woody to recap the game against Miami, discuss the quarterback situation, and talk about the challenge ahead in the form of Jackson State. I'm here with Coach Raymond Woody before the Wildcats take on the Jackson State Tigers to open up Southwestern Athletic Conference play here in 2023. Coach, last week at Miami, it was a short week on a Thursday. Talk to me a little bit about the game and how you thought the team performed.
Well, I'll tell you what, the guys never quit. Obviously Miami is, a really good football team, and we was fortunate enough to go in there and fight, and I'm proud of the guys. The guys fought to the very last, and, we had a couple guys get banged up, but, hey, that comes with the territory.
On that, both Luke Sprague and Tyleek Bethea went down with injuries during the game. What does the quarterback situation look like going into SWAC play this week?
Well, it's going to be just like we started the season. I mean, you got Walter, who's been playing, consistent, and, he's the guy that we're going to go with.
Defensively, even though some scores have been a bit lopsided, you all have been pretty solid, especially on the defensive front. What are you looking for this week, especially against the Jackson State team that has a pretty potent offense?
Well, at the end of the day, we're going to make sure that we want to be technique and fundamentally sound. That's the biggest thing, making sure we, fitting our gaps, setting edges, getting a pass rush when we need pass rush. I mean, we got some things that we been working on, and the guys are getting better.
This is the first road trip into what I would describe as a hostile environment. There's going to be a lot of people there. It's Jackson State's home opener, league play opener. How do you address your team and try and keep their minds right going into a place like that?
Well, I mean, it's football. I mean, we've been in the atmosphere, Memphis and Miami, I mean, you know, that's pretty hostile as well, you know. So we don't look at that. We just look at it's the most important game because it's the next game on our schedule. And we just got to go out and execute the 5 A's: alignment, assignment, adjustment, alert, and then attack. At the end of the day, I mean, that's what you focus on. You focus on the details of that. And then if you master the details of that, then it's going to be a good outcome.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
With scores of 56-14 and 48-7 in the rearview mirror, you wouldn't think that defense would be the star of the show for the Maroon and Gold. But defensive coordinator Robert Wimberly and his staff have put together a formidable unit that should be able to go toe-to-toe with any offense the SWAC has to offer. Linebacker De'Aris Thomas continues to lead the way with 24 tackles, including 3 for loss and 1 sack. He's in the top 10 in the conference in defensive output. In the secondary, Iverson Clement tops the charts in pass breakups, tied for second of the SWAC with 3. And Tyrone Franklin Jr. and Amari Jones each have an interception against Memphis, with Jones taking it all the way back to the house. I spoke with nickel linebacker Jalen Christian to find out about how he reads the game and what it's like working with this defensive unit. Before the Wildcats open SWAC play against Jackson State this week. Jalen, you are on linebacker on this defense and probably the unit that has been the standout unit of the team for me this year. How do you kind of read the field as a linebacker? What are you looking at pre-snap?
I play nickel position-wise, but pre-snap, it depends on the formation. I'm either reading my tackle or the tight end, really in man on the line of scrimmage, read him through the quarterback. That's pretty much it. If I see guards pulling, I know what to do, depending on my call. But, yeah, that's pretty much it.
How has working with Raymond Woody and this coaching staff been for you this season through the first couple of games?
Very helpful. I know, like, throughout the week, they take care of us. We'll really study. I know I have class, so, like, sometimes I'll be late to meetings or I might miss a meeting, but on the field I won't miss a beat. It's like I was at the meeting. The coaches, they work with you very well. They're not yelling at you. Well, my position coach, he ain't yelling at me, you know what I'm saying? He just talked to you like a normal person, like a man. And Coach Woody gonna push you. I like that. I like that Coach Woody, you know, take me back to Little League, you know what I'm saying? If he think you too soft, he gonna let you know it's too soft. And yeah, you'll get right after that.
You're wearing a very fancy Lifter of the Week shirt. When did you pick that up?
I picked this Lifter of the Week shirt up in the summertime. I actually earned 2 of them back to back. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying I'm the strongest guy in the weight room, but I'm determined. I'm always gonna show up, come to work, go to work.
How did you wind up at BCU to play football?
I came here and I graduated high school 2020, so I signed 2020. It was COVID, and my offers ain't start coming until my senior year, and I had a really late offer from ULM for a ride scholarship, but you know, I already know BCU because my family, my cousin Isaac Jackson, he played here, and I grew up coming to all the classic games, so I chose BCU over ULM because I didn't know nothing about ULM, so BCU was family.
Going into the SWAC opener against Jackson State, what are you looking forward to this week?
I'm looking forward to a win, but everybody watched the games we played Jackson State the past 2 years, man. They was dogging us, so I'm ready to go out on the field and dog them boys. I believe in our guys. I love my brothers on the field. You know what I'm saying? We go to war with each other. So like, I don't want to just win. I want to beat Jackson State.
Thank you, Jalen. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
We don't often let the light shine on special teams in this pregame show, but in my opinion, every player has a story to tell, and there might not be a better one on this 2023 roster than kicker Cade Hector. He came from the other side of the world to play college football, never played a game before stepping onto the field against Memphis, and already owns the longest field goal kicked in the SWAC this season. I caught up with Cade earlier this week to learn more about his football journey. Before the Wildcats take on Jackson State to open up conference play here in 2023. Cade, if it's somebody's first time listening to the broadcast, you are from Australia. How did you end up here playing an American sport halfway across the world?
Well, I always wanted to come to university in America. It was kind of a dream of mine, and I thought the way to do it was to play football. And as a former soccer player, I would be watching all the games, and I'd see the kickers kick, and I'd be like, hey, I think I can do that. So when I graduated school, I moved to a different state. I moved to Melbourne, and I trained for about 2.5 years with Pro Kick Australia, who have been like a college football punting factory, and they have just been pumping punters into the college football for the last 10-15 years. And so I hit them up, asked if I could come for a trial. I tried out, and they said, yeah, come. So for 2.5 years I trained with them, with John Smith, Nathan Chapman, Tim Gleason, and they got me here.
You mentioned punting is what Pro Kick Australia is known for, but you're a place kicker. Why kicker and not punter?
Well, I grew up playing soccer, so it was kind of like second nature to kick the ball, whereas punting, all the guys who are originally from Australia, they play Australian rules football, which is they kick it out of their hands, so that's most common who they train. But I wanted to be a kicker because I guess soccer was more natural to me, and they took me in and they trained me up.
You never had played a full-speed football game until the Memphis game. What was that experience like?
That was surreal. I couldn't. That was crazy, running out with thousands of fans, like booing us, but they were cheering as well because the other team was out there. But I'm not gonna lie and say I wasn't nervous, because I was, but I just couldn't believe that I was there at that moment, because it's something I dreamt of for years.
As a former soccer player myself, I'd never got the opportunity to play football. What is, in your opinion, the biggest difference between soccer and American football?
Well, probably the pressure, because in soccer you make a bad kick, like, and you make a bad pass. I mean, you got 90 minutes, and you have way more. In football, you've got one shot, one kill. You miss, your opportunity's done. You got to wait till the next one, which could be the next play, it could be the next drive, it could be in the fourth quarter. You don't know when it's going to be, so you got to take every opportunity.
Thank you, Cade. Good luck this week.
Thank you very much.
For the last 2 years, it has been the Deion Sanders show at Jackson State. The former NFL standout led the Tigers to unparalleled success with back-to-back SWAC titles and Celebration Bowl appearances. Now Deion has moved to the FBS level, is now at Colorado, taking a majority of the players, coaches, and staff from those dominant years with him. Now it is up to one of the few coaches that stuck around, 2001 JSU graduate T.C. Stevens, to try and continue the Tigers' reign of terror over the SWAC. Let's see how this new-look Jackson State team is doing through 4 games in this week's edition of the Opponent Report. Jackson State is second in the SWAC in total offense, averaging 400 yards per game. The Tigers rank 6th in rushing and passing offense with 137 and 263 yards per game. They are second in the SWAC in first downs per game and first in the FCS in first downs gained overall with 83. Tight end DJ Stevens was named first-team preseason All-SWAC and box-to-row preseason All-American, and to the Black College Player of the Year award watch list. And wide receiver Wico Powers, who's the team's leading receiver through 4 games, was named third-team preseason All-SWAC. On the other side of the ball, Jackson State is 6th in the SWAC in total defense, allowing 404 yards per game. JSU is 4th in passing defense, allowing 204 yards per game, and tied for 2nd in red zone scoring percentage allowed, with opponents scoring 12 out of 16 times in the red zone, allowing 12 touchdowns with 1 interception, 2 fourth-down stops, and 2 field goal attempts. JSU is tied for 2nd of the SWAC in sacks, say that 5 times fast, with 9, and safety Isaias Guthrie was third-team preseason All-SWAC and was named to the inaugural Aeneas Williams Award watch list as the top defensive back in HBCU football. The 2021 first-team All-MEAC selection and Hero Sports freshman All-American transfer from Delaware State led the league with 4 interceptions, along with 32 tackles, 27 of those solo. As the Jackson State Tigers run out of the tunnel, right to left, the fireworks going off in front of us, I'd like to welcome in my broadcast partner for the evening, Chris Shaw. Chris, this is one of the best atmospheres anywhere in the country, and we are here. We're on the roof, we're in the camera well, whatever it takes to get the broadcast going. What does BCU need to do to shock the world tonight?
Well, first and foremost, good evening to you. Good evening to you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to be here.
Glad to be here with you, and this is an exciting atmosphere right here. 2 wonderful teams, 2 fighting teams, 2 teams that's ready to take place in the conference. Ladies and gentlemen and women, it's the best game in America that we have thus far. College football at its best. HBCU at its best, with 2 contending teams that's trying to compete and go somewhere at the end of the season.
Tonight is the Jackson State home opener, dubbed the W.C. Gordon Classic, named after Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame inductee, former head baseball coach, head football coach, and athletic director here at Jackson State, William Gordon.
What did he do?
He did pretty much everything. The Block JSU logo is painted in red and white on the 50-yard line. The players for Jackson State are decked out in blue helmets, all red jerseys with white and blue outlines. That is because William Gordon is responsible for adding red to the Jackson State color palette when he was the football head coach. Previously, they had just worn navy and blue. Or say navy and white, correct.
Wow, great colors, and it looked good on them. But let's see how dirty it can get.
Bethune-Cookman tonight, maroon helmets, gold jerseys, white pants for the first time this season, with maroon numbers, white trim down the sides. The captains are meeting at midfield for the coin toss right now. This stadium holds just over 43,000, and I'd say it's about half full right now, with the majority of fans sitting below our broadcast position in the shade as the sun is setting behind us here in Mississippi. It is just about 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. for those of you listening back in Daytona Beach on the East Coast. And wherever you may be listening from, welcome. My name is Michael Terrell. Happy to have your company. Chris Shaw next to me as we get ready to talk you through the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats 1 and 2 versus the Jackson State Tigers at 2 and 2. Jackson State's conference record is 0-1, even though they've technically played two conference teams. But their game against Southern 2 weeks ago did not count as a conference game. Their one conference setback was in the Orange Blossom Classic to Florida A&M down in Miami. Our referee crew today is headed up by Bobby Wright Jr., umpire Brandon Bell, linesman Talmadge Ford, line judges Corey Fleming, Cecil Copeland, Martin Morgan, and Larry Hamilton, replay official Ryan Paris, and replay communicator Robert Carlson. Those are a SWAC officiating crew. We are just getting set to kick the ball off. Both teams just at their benches right now. This is a beautiful sight, Chris.
I don't know if you can hear all of that. That's what they call the sonic boom down here playing with all that music coming this way. And they lined up all the way across the field, halfway just to get into the stadium.
Yeah, as I mentioned, the sun's setting behind us, this horseshoe of a stadium. The stands on the far side still in sunlight, but the field completely in shadow now. That'll make it easier on the players when we do finally kick this one off.
It's amazing how this game is getting ready to turn out. I can't wait. I'm waiting for kickoff to kick in right here and right now.
We were talking last night about some of the history between these two teams. Obviously, Jackson State with the advantage, of course, in games played here. BCU's only won one game here in Jackson. That was back in the 70s. So it's going to be a tall task for BCU to get the job done. How are they going to do it from a tactical standpoint?
Well, defense is going to be the key. I'm a defensive fan, always have been, always will be. Defense is going to play a major part. The other part of that, we got to get offensively down the field. We got to push the ball down the field, get the ball up and running, and get a good run game and as we work and complete the passing game.
As I mentioned in the cold open, it will be Walter Simmons to get the start at quarterback tonight after injuries to both Tyleek Bethea and Luke Sprague. Now the teams are taking the field. The Wildcats will receive the opening kick, and look at this. We have history here tonight as Leilani Armenta is getting ready to kick off after an injury to Jackson State kicker Gerardo Beza. She wears number 35. She's number 13 on the soccer team. She will be the place kicker for Jackson State tonight.
She was out here stretching. When we came in, I said, wow, is this really happening?
Here we go. Darnell Dees back deep to receive. Armenta with the ball on the 35-yard line. She'll kick right to left.
It's football
The
time.
crowd here at Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium rises to their feet. For the first time this season, we are playing ball at the vet. The kickoff goes short. It's going to be bounced at the 40-yard line, picked up by Bethune-Cookman, and wrestled down at BCU's 37. That is where the Wildcats will start their opening series of the season. And I don't think big kickoffs are going to be a huge factor with Armenta back there kicking today for Jackson. But maybe that plays in their favor because they're not kicking to Darnell D's first-team preseason All-SWAC.
Right. That kick right there just goes to show that it's a rough start. She just got the jitters out on that first kick.
Here we go. Walter Simmons wearing number 8, the redshirt sophomore, originally from Orange Park, Florida, transfer from East Carolina, is in the gun. Juvensly Bazul is in their sidecar right. 3 receivers to the right, ball on the left hash. Jackson State on a 4-2-5 defense, 4 down linemen, 2 middle linebackers, and 5 defensive backs. From the 40-yard line, 1st and 10, it's going to be a fake handoff. Simmons going to develop the screen to Overton around the right-hand side, pushing forward to the 44-yard line, a 4-yard pickup on 1st down for the tight end, Khalil Overton.
Great way to come out of the box, a great way to come in and throw Jackson State off their game. I know they've been watching game preseason all week and watching different highlights, but that's a great start for Bethune-Cookman University.
That's only Khalil's 2nd catch of the season. Hasn't been targeted that much this year.
He's got more to come.
2nd down and 6 to go after a 4-yard pickup on 1st down from the 44. Simmons, with 2 receivers each side, takes the snap, back to pass against the 4-man rush, lets the ball go to the right-hand side. It is incomplete. The ball was hauled in by Taywan Boyd, but his foot was out of bounds.
If we could just work on that a little bit more, keeping that inside, you got to watch when you come down. I know it's hard to do, but catching that ball and trying to stay inbound at the same time, it's a lot of work.
And I like that route development. It was a little 10-yard out. He was wide open. If that ball's just a little better thrown, that's a 1st down. But now it's 3rd down and 6 from the 44. They actually mark it 3rd and 7 from the 43. Same formation, 2-by-2, the receivers. It's going to be up to this offensive line to give Simmons time in the pocket tonight. They look over to the sideline to change the play. Jackson State trying to get off the field on 3rd down. Simmons to the far side, caught at the 45. Leaning forward is Boyd. He's going to be close and short by 2 yards at the 48-yard line. Now, do you keep the offense on the field here in minus territory?
Well, no, it's best. It's just start to the game, kick it back, and let's see what our defense can do and turn that ball back over.
It looks like Simmons is staying out there. Bethune-Cookman has not had a run yet today. It's been 3 passes on the first 3 down. 4th down coming up. BCU 0 for 1 on 4th down conversions so far this season.
Well, let's see what we're going to do right here.
4th and 2 from the 48. Got to get to midfield. Again, they'll spread them out 2-by-2. Simmons takes the snap. Extra pressure coming up the middle. He's forced to scramble to his left. He's at the 45 to the 50. 1st down BCU. Pushed out of bounds to the Jackson State 45. Walter Simmons doing it with his legs.
That defense came in pretty rough down the middle with that linebacker pressure and got right up through. And that's what forced him outside to run, at least to get the 1st down, and he made the 1st down.
Yeah, but Walter Simmons, we mentioned in the pregame show, he can run, and it's probably his best asset.
Yes. That's going to be part of this game right here. That's going to play a major factor.
He was the number 18 dual threat recruit at Oak Leaf High School nationally 2 years ago. Some personnel changes for BCU. They bring the 2nd tight end in on the left-hand side and go power look. 1st and 10 from the Jackson State 46. Handoff up the middle. Powering his way forward, trying to move the pile is the BCU running back. They're going to give him 3 yards. Ball spotted at the 43-yard line. Trying to see who's at the bottom of that pile for BCU.
It looked like a major pile-up.
It looks like a I-4 on a Monday morning.
Right.
That was Juvensly Bazul at running back to start the game for BCU. Bazul, the top runner for the Wildcats. 100 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, they just came right in, and that O-line just gave them an extra push. As you can see, the red jerseys piling on, trying to stop the ball.
2nd and 6 from the 42-yard line. Wildcats into Jackson State territory. Same formation, flip it to the right. Snap to Simmons, will keep it himself, looking for an opening up the middle. He's going to slide down close to the 40, only a 1-yard gain. Spot him at the 41, 3rd down and 5. And now the crowd gets loud here again.
Uh-oh, we hit a little tussle down there. But as the game gets started, though, they're trying to throw a flag, but it's no flag.
12:03 and counting to go, first quarter, no score. If you're just joining us here from Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium in Jackson, Tennessee, a sweltering Jackson, Tennessee, 95 at kickoff. 3rd down and 5 from the 41-yard line. Got to get to the 36 for a 1st down. Simmons with 3 receivers to the right and 1 to the left. That single receiver left is Davino Wellington. Simmons takes the snap, 4-man rush, timeout BCU, as I don't think they were going to get that playoff in time.
Yeah, I think they was too busy trying to figure out how and what they were going to get into in the formation. and the clock just caught up with them ahead of time. So timeout Bethune-Cookman University as they talk this over. Great things in progress. Looking great on the offensive side just a little bit. We got movement. We're moving the ball down the field, and we're moving it up. And we took a risk on that fourth quarter into that fourth play instead of punting it.
It will be 3rd down and 5. When we come back, you're listening to Bethune-Cookman Football on BCU Athletics on the CatEye Network and 1380 WELE. Welcome back to Jackson, Mississippi. Michael Torillo, Chris Shaw with you as Bethune-Cookman facing a 3rd down and 5 from the Jackson State 41-yard line. They go right to left in this first quarter. 3 receivers to the right, single left. Simmons in the gun with Bazul sidecar left. 4-man rush. It's going to be a screen to Bazul. He dropped the ball. He has to fall on it to prevent it being a fumble. They call it an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th and 5.
11:27 left to go on the clock in the first quarter, and we got to work that out. That needs to be worked out a little bit better. But that blitz came in, and that's what blew up the play.
And I think we are outside of Cade Hector field goal range, so this will be Anthony Frederic to punt it away. Hold on. Oh, yeah, no, it will be Frederic to punt it away. Sorry, they were in a weird formation, and now they're set. There's a returner back deep for the Tigers at the 10-yard line. Frederic, whose long is 52, and we're going to have another timeout.
So as we are in this timeout, it looks like the band is getting ready to do something. It's just a lot of red. And then you see that one section of blue with the sonic boom.
It is a red out tonight, honestly. Obviously, to honor the red legacy from W.C. Gordon. And there's the sonic boom of the South playing down to our left.
This stadium is amazing, and it's nice. And it looks great with all the fans here.
The stadium's starting to fill in. It's completely packed on the near side and then starts to thin out as you go around the curve of the stadium away to our left. Wildcats, once again, after this timeout, facing a 4th down and 5. They will punt it away.
So it's going to be up to special teams. And I believe that's going to be a major factor for the game tonight. Special teams. Special teams are going to have to play a major effect into what we do and what the university takes place in turning over the ball, getting the ball back, and making some offense out of the special teams.
Nike is the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Gear up on the newest BCU Nike gear at nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. And make sure you are representing Bethune-Cookman University Athletics to the fullest. Buy the latest BCU gear online at the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to bcuathletics.com and click on Shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's bcuathletics.com and click on Shop. And Chris, I wanted to talk about the offensive line early on. JSU has brought some pressure, 5th and 6th guys from the secondary in on blitzes. We haven't really been picking it up that well early on.
Yeah, they've been sleeping right in, cutting right through, and it looked like it's coming right down the middle, right over. So it's a lot when you have a defensive tackle over you and 2 linebackers right behind that defensive tackle trying to cut in and get to the quarterback.
What does the offensive line need to do to kind of pick up those blitzes and give Walter Simmons more time?
Well, you might have to do a halfback delay release where the running back stays in, take a quick block, and then cut out and do a hook and curl.
All right, we are back ready to go after the timeout. Anthony Frederic with his heels on his own 45-yard line to kick it away. One JSU player back there at the 10. Can't really catch a number at the moment.
It looked like Hazel. But we'll see as they get ready to punt this ball. Then punt formation. Calling out the call now.
Here's the snap. Frederic gets the punt away. It's a high spiraling kick. It's going to bounce at the 2-yard line and take a great BCU bounce and settle at the 2-yard line. How about that, Anthony Frederic?
Great
Jackson
positioning.
State is going to start at their own 2-yard line.
Well, this is what a defense shows out, and this is what a defense is going to have to take a toll. Pushing them back, and let's go grab a safety.
Anthony Frederic was not the starting punter on this team. Max Tulin actually punted the first 2 weeks, and then Frederic came in against Miami, did a great job, and now he is truly taken over that starting role.
After this positioning right here, right at the 2-yard line, I think it's going to be phenomenal.
They're going to actually spot Jackson State at the 3. This is a dynamic Jackson State offense led by quarterback Jason Brown. He's got the most passing yards in the SWAC at 831, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's going to hand the ball off the middle, dive to the 6. That's Irv Mulligan, their leading rusher on the first down carry. 64 carries, 322 yards for Mulligan. He's a graduate transfer from Wofford.
He looked like he's ready to play. He looked like he's ready to come into this game and just run all over Bethune, but these linebackers got something else better to say.
Second down at 8 after the 2-yard gain at the 6-yard line. 2 receivers to the left, 2 tight ends in the game. To the left of the line, Mulligan is their sidecar. Snap to Brown, handoff, Mulligan on a draw, one-on-one in the hole, and the Wildcats make the tackle at the 10.
Just as I said, these linebackers got a different mentality for Bethune-Cookman this year. They're going down the field, and they hitting the gaps, and they making sure nobody come out.
That was De'Aris Thomas, the team's leading tackler on the stop. 25th tackle on the season for Thomas right there. Now 3rd down and 4 from the 10. Got to get to the 14-yard line for a first down.
This is going to be great pressure.
Do the Wildcats bring pressure? One man in motion left to right. Here's the snap. Brown's going to roll to the left, cut back, drive towards the first down. He's going to get it by 1 yard. Jason Brown used his legs. 19 carries, negative 34 yards net. Of course, that includes sacks. But he's not really a runner, but that time he made it work.
Yeah, coming out in that motion play off the left side of the field, it threw everybody off, and he just kept the ball and just ran right out and made the first down.
Made Deontay Washington miss and then had a little bit of daylight behind him. 1st and 10 from the 15 for Jackson State. And the all-red, blue helmets with a red face mask. Tight end goes in motion left to right. Snap to Brown. A look to pass for the first time today. Throws over the middle. The pass is caught at the 25-yard line and tackled close to the 30, down to the 29. That was Fabian McCray, the graduate transfer from Northern Illinois, on the catch.
Fabian McCray has been outstanding for this team this year in different places and being that hot receiver for a go-to position.
72 yards on the year for McCray before this game. 1st and 10 for Jackson State from the 29-yard line. This JSU offense is very explosive, can hit you hard and fast if you are not paying attention. Late outside pressure shown. They'll drop in coverage. It's going to be a reverse around to the left to the 30, 35. He ran into his own man, 40. Finally, somebody in a gold uniform contacts the runner and forces him out of bounds at the 45. Nice little trick play there for
that was something
JSU.
new. That was something new. You've never seen your own player hit you and your own player who don't have the ball get knocked down. As we line back up into formation.
I was Andre Hunt, the wide receiver, that took the reverse. 1st and 10 from the 45. Play action. Brown escapes the pocket to the left. He's going to roll. Now he's going to take off to the 50, scamper out right at midfield to the left-hand side. Gain of 5, second down and 5 for Jackson State. Now we can see where this offense for JSU really can hurt you.
Right here in midfield. This is wide open for them, and this is what they enjoy doing.
The one pass that Brown has thrown was pretty wide open into the secondary to McCray. Brown takes the snap. Play action, throws to the far side on a slant. Nice tackle. They're going to get 5 yards to the BCU 45, but Omari Hill-Robinson came up and made the tackle right after the catch. Rico Powers, his first catch of the night.
Open field tackle all by yourself. You got to wrap, and that's exactly what he did. He wrapped it up, pushed it back.
It was a first down for Jackson State. Needed 5, got 5 and an inch.
And they made it.
At the BCU 45-yard line. Kobe Paul, the lone receiver, all the way to the right. 3 bunched up to the left, close to the line of scrimmage. Brown takes the snap, another play action. He's got time in the pocket. He's going to throw deep down the middle. Receiver behind the defense. Incomplete. He dropped it. Wow.
Wow.
That was a touchdown waiting to happen, but the receiver dropped the ball. That was Isaiah Spencer, just straight up bounced off his hands.
Right in and double, and right down to the ground. Just saved BCU a touchdown.
BCU gets a extreme let off. That was Joshua Thornhill back there, who was behind Spencer by a step. Now 2nd and 10 from the Bethune 45. The same formation, but they'll flip it. Single receiver wide out to the left. Pitch to the strong side right. Goes Irv Mulligan. Mulligan takes the ball and runs out of bounds close to the 30-yard line. Correction, that's Desmond Moultrie on the carry. First down, Jackson State.
Yeah, great pitch. Great pitch out on the right-hand side. As the defensive ends and the outside linebackers came up through the gap, he just made it right behind, snuck right behind him and came right in.
That was the first time we've really seen that pitch.
Yeah.
And when the Tigers are able to move laterally, it's given the BCU defense a few issues. 1st and 10 for Jackson State from the 27-yard line. Handoff to the running back again. Flag flies as Desmond Moultrie is dragging BCU defenders close to the 25-yard line. It is an 11-yard pickup, but there's a flag in the vicinity of holding.
Well, this is where Jackson State opens up. Once they get past the 50, it becomes dangerous for any opponent that they face. It
is going to be a hold. They're going to call Josiah Roa with the hold.
Once they get past this 50, Jackson State is in good field position and they're ready to play ball.
Wildcats have struggled at times to get pressure on Jason Brown. There was one time where he had to scramble out of the pocket and take off, but the front four for BCU need to do a better job of getting back to the quarterback. This offensive line for Jackson State, though, very big. 324, 308, 307, 315, and 320 on the starting offensive line. Now 1st and 20 from the 38-yard line, Throw, slant, caught at the 29-yard line, close back to the original line of scrimmage. Jabari Jowden was in coverage for BCU. Didn't really see who made the catch. That was Seven McGee.
No huddle.
Fittingly wearing number 7. The Tigers go no huddle. 2nd and 12 from the 29 officially. Handoff, Moultrie, driven backwards. He's going to get out of a tackle. He's going to stumble toward the far sideline and be pushed out for a loss of 5. What a play for the BCU defense.
That was amazing how they just came right up, made the pressure, and forced them outside and trying to get everything behind the line of scrimmage so they get no yardage on the play.
They credit Adrian Hall with the tackle, the defensive tackle who shot back there. I think he got first contact and drove him out of bounds.
This is great. This is great, and it shows promising for the Bethune-Cookman defensive side of the ball, too. So as they continue to try to push back more, this will open up this field.
Hold on. We've got a penalty. Illegal formation. More than 4 in the backfield on Jackson, but BCU is going to decline the penalty and bring up 3rd down and 13 from the 30-yard line. That's incorrect. They're on the 33-yard line, so 3rd down and 16 from the 33-yard line for Jackson State. This would be a huge stop for Bethune-Cookman. 2 by 2 go the receivers. Ball on the left hash, 4-down lineman for the maroon and gold. Jason Brown looks to the sideline, gets the play. Now he clamps his hands and takes the snap. He's going to call out a hot route. He's going to be pressured immediately. He's going to run away. He's going to pitch the ball down the field as he's being tackled from behind. Incomplete, 4th down.
Good defense, and that's how you get pressure up the middle. forcing him to scramble. And he can't, once he stays still, he's dangerous. But once you get him scrambling, it's an open season for the defense.
Amari Jones was the first man back there. He made the best play for BCU so far this season, that pick 6 against Memphis. And they're going to force the Tigers to punt, I believe. Drove them back to their own 33. Yeah, they got punter Matt Knoll back there, as they don't trust Leilani Armenta at kicker to kick what would be a 50, close to a 50-yarder.
Well, she looked like she's still trying to work out the jitterbugs of being nervous on her first game.
Knoll rolls right, kicks it away. It's going to bounce inside the 5 and sit right there at the 3-yard line. So both teams trading really excellent punts early on.
Great positioning on both sides of the ball for both offensive to put everybody back in their own end zone with your back right at the goal line.
5:13 to go first quarter. We'll take a timeout and be right back. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman University of Football on CatEye Network Radio and 1380 WELE. Welcome back to Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium. Bethune-Cookman back on offense in a scoreless game with 5:13 to go in the first quarter. The Wildcats, after a Matt Knoll punt, are backed up at their own 3-yard line, 1st and 10, going right to left. It will be Walter Simmons in the gun once again with his toes on the goal line. Simmons hands to Bazul up the middle, trying to pound his way forward, and he'll get to the 5 for a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, this is going to be the key right here. How much the offense can push the defense back and get up the field. This got to work, being this far back in your own end zone.
Excuse me, that was Jimmy Robinson on the carry, not Bazul. His first carry of the night, and Robinson still back there at running back. Now at the 5-yard line, 2nd down and 8. 3-down lineman for JSU. Simmons going to roll to the right, keeping a read option. At the 5-yard line, he's going to be buried.
Yeah, the defense was just too much for him. They came in with a strong side blitz, but also came in with a weak side blitz as well, and that's why he was not eligible to get up the field. And
B.J. Washington made the tackle, the transfer from Northwest Mississippi Community College, just a sophomore, and it brings up 3rd and 8 for Bethune-Cookman, who are in danger of losing the position battle here at their own 5-yard line. Let's see if Jackson State brings the pressure. 4-down lineman. Only one middle linebacker, that being Isaac Peppers. 4 receivers now, 2 right, 2 left.
We're going to have to play this short passing game sooner or later.
Simmons takes the snap back to pass, has time. He's in his own end zone, has to roll to his right, and he's sacked for a safety. He is sacked for a safety, and Jackson State is on the board.
Came in with a delayed blitz and caught him right in the end zone as he tried to roll out, because that middle was clogging up for him. So he tried to roll out and try to get the ball up the field, and didn't see that delayed blitz coming.
The middle linebacker, Isaac Peppers, the transfer from Arkansas Pine Bluff, shot back there and got the safety on the delayed blitz. And if you're Walter Simmons, you got to throw that ball away. I know you're trying to make a play for your team, but punting is better than giving up 2 points and giving the ball back.
You have to throw that ball out there and take that chance and push that ball out on the sideline with the out route.
So now with 3 minutes and 41 seconds to go in the first quarter, it's Jackson State 2, Bethune-Cookman nothing. At halftime, it's Dan Ryan history lesson in BCU football and a conversation with Leviticus Glover Jr. as he talks about the structure dedicated to the Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune, the MMB Performing Arts Center, at the half. That's if you're listening on 1380 WLE. If you're with us on the CatEye Network, you will hear Dan Ryan's segment, but you will not hear the Leviticus Mary McLeod Bethune Performing Arts Center segment.
He's put so much work into that project and talking about the Mary McLeod Bethune Performance Arts Center that he does amazing work. So you have to see LeVision production and LeVision work as it does different things.
Jackson State now going to get the ball back after the safety, and it's going to be off the leg of Anthony Frederic, the punter. He stands at his own 15-yard line, and he really needs to put all of his leg power into this one.
Yeah, you need to push that as far back as possible, and then I need the team to get down in coverage.
And the BCU defense is going to have to feel a little bit hard done right now. They got a great third down stop, and they got off the field, and the offense didn't do them any favors. They're just going to put them right back out there.
So this is going to be the key factor, making sure your defense get enough rest, but you got to make sure that your offense can push down the field and do what we need to do.
And that's been the struggle this season for Bethune-Cookman. Sustained offensive drives when Luke Sprague has not been in the game. Of course, he's gone probably for the season. We're not sure, but not playing tonight. In any case, so it's up to Simmons. Here's the punt. That's a great punt from Frederic. It's going to be fielded all the way back at the 15-yard line. That's 15 to 15 goes the punt. Returned up near side of the 30, bounced out of bounds at the 37-yard line. And the Jackson State bench wanted a late hit. That was Drew Vensley-Bazul, funnily enough, the running back playing special teams that ran the returner out of bounds.
Well, it wasn't really a late hit. It was more of he got him, and they was both spinning out of bounds, and he just spinned them off and pushed them off. They want a flag for that. It's part of the game.
Yeah, I agree. It's not a foul.
Yeah, it's not. It wasn't intentional.
Jackson State now back on the field with quarterback Jason Brown.
Jackson State came out ready to play. And they have this new no-huddle offense going on that they just want to get the ball and run right to it.
1st and 10 for Jackson State, going left to right on the 36-yard line of their own. It's Irv Mulligan in the backfield. He's going to get the snap, run to the left, try to break through a BCU arm tackle and get down to the 42-yard line.
He was tripped up and covered a little bit by Mr. Jalen Christian himself, making sure that he stayed down on the ground.
We heard from Jalen during the pregame show. 2nd down and 5 after the 5-yard gain. Screen pass to the far side, and the player is hit immediately. Fantastic tackle by Jabari Jowden. No gain on the play, 3rd and 5.
I like the way he shed it. The block went right for the screen. He saw it coming. He knew it was right there, and he executed very well.
Actually, they'll back him up to the 40-yard line, a loss of 2. So now 3rd down and 7.
This is how the defense come out, strong, hard, and tough.
3 receivers to the left. Only one to the far side. That's the far hash, but the short side of the field. Mulligan still in there in the running back spot. 4 down lineman for BCU. Linebackers showed pressure. Now they back away. Brown motions Mulligan. Left to right. He takes the snap. 3-man rush for BCU. Brown throws short. Incomplete. Almost picked off. There was a diving attempt at an interception by Amari Jones, but it's incomplete. 4th down. 3 and out for BCU.
It was right there. It was right there. It could have been a nice turnover change. Great position.
Well, I think if the throw had gone as intended, that would have been an interception. He kind of spiked that throw out of his hands.
Yeah, he saw all the pressure in front of him. That's what made him nervous.
And you know what the best part about that play was? We forced Brown to move in the pocket with a 3-man rush.
Yeah.
Darnell Dees back with his heels on the BCU 20-yard line to receive the kick. Matt Knoll on to kick. Last time he pinned the Wildcats at the 3-yard line. This time punting from his own 25. The punt is almost blocked, but he gets away. It's short. It's spiraling towards the near side. It's going to bounce to the 40 and dribble towards the 30-yard line and be down at the 29-yard line. No return for BCU. So Bethune-Cookman Down 2-0, not the worst thing in the world, but we've shown that we're in the game right now, especially on defense.
We're still in this game. Now it's just working on this offensive scheme to push the ball down the field. Your offensive line got to do the leg work. We got to get the hold the blocks, and we got to get the push in the run game.
And as good as the defense has played, if the offense can't sustain drives, the defense is going to wear down.
Right, and you don't want your defense to wear down. You need your defense to rest so they can execute the way they need to. So as this offense comes back out to the field, let's see what we do in this run game. Let's see what we do in the short passing game.
I'd like to see us run the ball a little bit more. First and 10 for Bethune-Cookman from their own 29-yard line, going right to left. 2 receivers to each side. Jaden Bivens in the backfield. He'll motion out to take the screen pass to the right. He cuts up towards the 30 and gains 1 yard on first down. That's a nice little wrinkle there. Trying to get the running back in space.
Trying to get something out. Nice little behind the screen pass. It could have worked, but that defense was too quick and they responded too fast. Came right in, and that's why you only got a yard.
Second down and 9 from the 30-yard line. Same formation with the single receiver to the far side. That's Tink Boyd. 2 receivers to the near side left. 3 down linemen for JSU. They've changed from a 4-2-5 to a 3-4.
Right.
Defensively, Simmons takes the snap. Play action, has time, got to throw over the middle. It is caught at the 50-yard line, to the 45, to the 40-far side. Tackled at the 39, huge first down for DAJ. Dakari Allen Johnson.
And that's going to be the key right there throughout the rest of this game. You got to work this middle in and work them post routes. Them post routes are going to be more effective in this game than anything as we line back up, no huddle.
First and 10 at the 40. Simmons takes the snap, throws out route, overthrown and almost intercepted. Whoa, BCU got away with one right there. Ooh. Jalen Hughes almost picked that one off. It was trying to go out route to Tink Boyd, and it just sailed on him.
He got some hops over there because that ball went, if he'd have just closed in a little higher, that ball would have been right in his hand with a turnover for Jackson State.
Clock stops, 1:17 to go first quarter, 2-0. Jackson State after the safety earlier in the quarter. Second and 10 for Bethune-Cookman. They'll spot the ball at their own at the Jackson State 41. This is the second foray into JSU territory for Bethune-Cookman tonight. They'll bring the tight end Overton in, maybe try and run the ball here. They will, with Bivens trying to get a counter play going, and the Jackson State defense is all over it. Loss of 1 to the 42.
That Jackson State is responding too fast. They've done their homework this weekend.
Now, something I didn't understand about that play, maybe you can walk me through it, is they motioned the tight end in almost as an extra fullback and then ran away from him.
Right. I'm trying to understand it myself because you always want to run to your strong side when you got the extra help. But it's to throw you off a little bit because you expect the strong side, but not anything coming up the middle for the weak.
Now it's going to be 3rd down and 11 for Bethune-Cookman. They're just outside of field goal range at their own 42-yard line. Simmons drops back into the gun. Bivens in there at running back. Overton, the tight end, left. 3-man rush for Jackson State. Play action for Simmons. He surveys. He rolls to his right. He throws down the far side. Numbers incomplete. Threw it away as pressure was coming from the backside.
Too much pressure came in off this defensive side. But as he rolled out, he did see it opening, but he just threw it a little bit too much time in the weight room.
We're going to see Anthony Frederick coming on to punt again. But positives for Bethune-Cookman, especially that long pass in the middle of that drive.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. Coming in on these post routes, opening up the middle of the field because this defense, the way they're playing, you're leaving that middle open just a tad bit. So you want to force it just a little bit. Not too much, but just a little bit.
Anthony Frederick punting from pretty much the same spot he punted last time, from the 45-yard line right to left. This is high and short, arcing towards the far side, caught at the 15-yard line. Give him the 16 on a fair catch, and that's where Jackson State will start on offense. 22 seconds left in the first quarter, and our fearless leader, Bryce Wojnowski, reminds me that is 4 safeties in the last 2 games that BCU has given up to Jackson State. Had 3 last year in Jacksonville against this Jackson State team.
Yeah, Jackson, once they get you down on this end, like we said, once Jackson get over the 50 on their side of the ball, it's a different ball game for Jackson State.
Jackson State has controlled the majority of the pace of the game, but they're only up by 2. They'll start 1st and 10 from their own 16, going left to right. 4 down linemen for Bethune-Cookman. 1 man goes in motion right to left. It's going to be a delayed handoff to the left-hand side. Moultrie falling towards the 20-yard line, just going to be a 3-yard gain.
Good pickup, a good way to read that offense, knowing that it was going to come through.
That was Ahmad Miller with his first carry of the game, the true freshman from Memphis, Tennessee.
And great job on Mr. Jalen Christian, number 30, for stepping into that slot to stop the ball so you don't get a first down.
Christian starting for the first time this season, as that is the end of the first quarter. The Jackson State Tigers 2, the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats nothing. This has been a dogfight early, Chris.
Yeah, it's going to be the battle of who's been in the weight room the most, I guess, right?
We'll take a break, and when we come back, it's the second quarter here from Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman University football on the CatEye Network and 1380 WELE. Welcome back to Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium here in Jackson, Mississippi. My name is Michael Terrell. I'm happy to have your company. Chris Shaw joining me as we are standing atop the camera well here.
Yeah, we're right on the
we
top.
way up to the top of the stadium. The sun setting behind our broadcast position, almost completely leaving all of the stands in shade. The floodlights have begun to turn on. It is transitioning from day to night of a beautiful skyline that we can see all the way up here. It is Jackson State 2, Bethune-Cookman University 0 as we get set to start the second quarter. The Jackson State Tigers, blue helmets, red jerseys, red pants, white stripe, blue numbers with a white trim come out. They'll go right to left in the second quarter. Bethune-Cookman, maroon helmets, gold jerseys, white pants, maroon numbers, white trim will defend and go left to right when they have the ball. 2-0 Jackson State, and Jackson State has second down and 6 from the 20-yard line. Brown takes the snap, first play of the second quarter, throws over the middle to a slant, caught near the first down, spinning away from a tackler back towards the 20. Let's see where they get forward progress. It's going to be forward progress to the 22, so in the end, only a 2-yard gain for Fabian McCray.
Well, you know, they're trying to work out their offensive side too, throwing the ball a little bit, but we just got to step up to this middle and make sure we engage in the middle of the field. Third
down and 4, a long 4, depending on the spot of the ball. Ball at the 22-yard line of Jackson State. One receiver all the way out to the... He's offsides. He's way offsides, that receiver. He's lined up pretty much past where the BCU line is. Now he gets back set. Snap to Brown. Pressure coming from the backside. He throws it short of the middle, and a huge tackle at the 23. That's going to be a fourth down. Eddie Walls crushed that receiver the minute he touched the ball.
That's all he did. All he did was touch. He didn't even get a chance to turn around because Eddie was right there on it.
Man, this BCU defense has stepped up early in this ball game.
This is what football is about, stepping up for big moments, stepping up in big plays.
This Jackson State team is averaging 27 points a game. and over 400 yards of total offense per game. But we got Matt Knoll on to punt again. Darnell Dees could give BCU some good field position. He's standing near the BCU 45. Knoll rolls to his right, kicks the ball. It's a good punt. It's going to be caught in traffic by Dees. Fair catch at the 46-yard line of Jackson State. Best starting field position for Bethune-Cookman on offense, and we will get that starting position when we come back. Timeout on the field. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman University football on the CatEye Network Radio on 1380 WELE. Bethune-Cookman on offense, down 2-0 with 13:29 to go here in this second quarter of play. Walter Simmons back in at quarterback. The maroon and gold will go left to right here in this second quarter. We're just waiting for the timeout coordinator to get off the field.
Here's what's got to happen this series round. We got to get on the score. We got to score something. We got to get on the board. So you got to work this middle of the field that's open, because it looks like these linebackers are playing the run, and they looking at the run. If you do a play-action fake, hit right up the middle a couple of times, it'll start throwing them back in the game where you can open up the field for a run play.
And then one pass to Dakari Allen Johnson, that's exactly what they did. It went for 29 yards on BCU's previous drive. Unfortunately, ended in a punt. It's going to be a play action, sling to the far side. DAJ makes the catch at the 50, falls forward to the 45-yard line. They'll spot the ball at the 43. Nice, generous spot. First down, BCU after a gain of 11.
Great play, great way to open up into a quick small of a post route, but it opens up for you to get right down the field. Like I said, these linebackers are playing the run because they're looking for the run.
Bethune-Cookman has thrown the ball more tonight than I think anybody really expected them to. 1st and 10 for BCU on Jackson State's side of the field at the 43-yard line.
I love when the offensive line looking for their opponents.
Juvensley Bazul is sidecar left. They got Overton into block, but it's going to be a screen to the far side, and Tink Boyd wasn't paying attention. The ball almost hit him in the back.
Yeah, it hit him right in the back. It just came right out, snapping, then bam.
That's a couple of times on that wide receiver screen where it's either been overthrown or the receiver's not paying attention, and we're just not connecting on it. 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, we just got to figure that out and play that, because that DB came right in for the block and was ready to go. But it mishapped.
2nd and 10 now, again from the 43. BCU has not gotten into field goal range. All their drives so far tonight have stalled about this point right here on the field. Simmons takes the snap, back to pass, late blitz coming. He's going to back up to the 45, roll away to the 50. Far side, trying to get to the corner, and he's going to get out of bounds at the 43. Ran a long way to get no yards on that play. 3rd down and 10. Delayed blitz again from the linebacker.
It's coming through. The defense is coming through in them delays because you're not seeing it. They don't show it. They just stop, bam, and then come right in.
So I think Bethune-Cookman, to combat this, we need to go to more of those quick passes, but they got to be on the money.
Got to be them quick hot routes. That's what we call them, a hot route.
3rd down and 10 for Bethune-Cookman at the, actually they're giving 3rd down and 11 from the 44. Backed him up 1 yard after the Simmons scramble. 3 receivers right, single left. The crowd here Trying to get loud and get behind their defense for Jackson State. Snap to Simmons. All out blitz. Simmons evades the rush to the left. He's going to scramble.
Open.
40. Middle of the field is open. He spins down close to the first down near the 33. He's going to be half a yard short.
Oh, he did a move right there, and it looked like he probably did something, but he got right up. I'm glad he's safe, though.
Yeah,
Glad he's
Simmons,
all right.
great job to, as the pocket broke down, scramble to his right and find some open field. 4th and 1. They're going to keep the offense on the field, not quite in Cade Hector field goal range. They're at the 33-yard line. Actually, they're 34. Need to get to the 33. I think that was a poor spot, but it's
I do too.
neither here nor there. Jimmy Robinson, the running back, sidecar left. Overton in as the tight end / fullback to the right of him. 2 receivers out to the left. 8 on the play clock. Snap to Simmons. He puts it in the belly of Jimmy Robinson. He falls forward. First down, Bethune-Cookman all the way, still going, pushing the pile past the 30 to the 29-yard line.
That's what you call beefy right there. You get them in and you push them back. You push that defense back and make that ball go forward. It was only a 1 yard that you need.
Jimmy Robinson, shortest guy on the team, only 5'7", but he can lower that center of gravity and really push through behind that offensive line.
That's always been a tough battle for a lot of defensive linemen. You got the small guys coming in and running right through.
First down and 10 for Bethune-Cookman. Best field position they've had all night at the Jackson State 27-yard line. 2 receivers right, single left. Robinson still in there at running back. 3-2 look from Jackson State. Screen pass, left-hand side, caught at the 22-yard line by Davino Ellington, his first catch of the game. His knee was down when he made the grab, so only a 3-yard gain.
Well, at least we will work on this time around. In that screen play, it came right and it executed. Just didn't execute far enough, but it executed.
Actually, that was a gain of 5. They give him 2 extra yards on that.
That's great compared to the last spot.
Making up for that spot on the 4th down. BCU picked it up.
Right.
And now we're in field goal range. I think the most important thing, not to turn the ball over, be safe with it, get out of here with points, which is what you said at the beginning of the quarter.
Take care of the ball, push the ball down the field, and get it to the end zone.
2nd and 5 at the 22. 1 man in motion. It's a jet sweep to the left to Jakari Allen Johnson. It's a great block to the 15, to the 10, tripped up at the 5, down to the 3-yard line. Jakari Allen Johnson on a jet sweep sets up the Wildcats at 1st and goal at the 3.
Good pickup, good block, a good way to open up that gap and push everybody out.
Huge shout out, I believe, to Mbanye Moore, the tight end, for picking up that seal block on the outside.
Yeah, that block is what made the difference for the open field.
1st and goal officially spotted at the 4-yard line. Juvensley Bazul, he's got the 2 BCU rushing touchdowns so far this year against Savannah State. He's in at running back now. He's going to get the carry up the middle. Bazul, contact the line of scrimmage, falling forward towards the goal line. What's the signal? Touchdown, Bethune-Cookman. Touchdown, Maroon and Gold. Juvensley Bazul gives the Maroon and Gold the lead.
Halfback dive right up the middle, right into the end zone, touchdown.
Man, Juvensley Bazul, he's another guy. When you see him on the practice field, 5'10", 190, not really that not that intimidating.
Size, right.
Yeah, but he can bowl through a defensive tackle like anybody else. That was actually a decent play by Jackson State's defense. Contacted him right at the line of scrimmage.
They did.
But he had the power to push through for the touchdown.
That's what we call the weight room.
Cade Hector on for the extra point. DeTilio to hold. The kick is blocked. And so Bethune-Cookman only gets 6. This has been a weird game so far. It is 6-2. Bethune-Cookman with 9:07 to go in the first half. BCU, for the first time since the Savannah State game, has a lead. It's 6-2. Once again, 9:07 to go, first half. We'll take a short break and be right back. This is BCU Athletics on the CatEye Network Radio and 1380 WELE. Bethune-Cookman leads Jackson State 6-2. Sounds like a baseball score, doesn't it, Chris Shaw, as we're here
a couple of home runs here now.
Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium. Bethune-Cookman, Cade Hector getting set to kick it back to Jackson State. Ball on the tee at the 35-yard line. He kicks the ball away. It's going to land at the 3, taken there, run up to the 5, to the 10, straight up the middle, 15, a hole towards the 20, past the 30, and dragged down to the 32-yard line. Good return for Jackson State. Bethune-Cookman volleyball is off to a hot start in SWAC play after a thrilling 5-set win against Alabama A&M last night. Come support your Wildcats tomorrow at noon at Moore Gymnasium as they take on Alabama State for Faculty and Staff Appreciation Day, or watch live on the CatEye Network. I will be there. We're leaving tonight right after the game, flying back to Daytona Beach, and I got a noon first serve for volleyball.
So you just got to jump right back into it, right?
Quick turnaround in the world of sports information,
Right.
but that's how we like it. From the 31-yard line, Tigers, actually they'll spot at the 32, Tigers in the all-red with blue helmets. They go right to left in this second quarter, now trailing 6-2. One man in motion right to left. That puts 3 receivers to the left. It's going to be a handoff up the middle, a huge hole to the 40. Big hole, got downfield, tripped up at the 50-yard line. That's Irv Mulligan, the top rusher for this Jackson State team.
Well, they use their motion for the tight end. They come over and open that gap right up, and that's how you was able to get out. As they do no huddle, come back to the line of scrimmage, ball is snapped.
Jackson State goes quickly. Another run from Mulligan up the middle. Going to be dragged down from behind after a gain of about 4 to the BCU 45, 6, 7-yard line. That was a 17-yard carry for Irv Mulligan on the first play, followed by a 5-yard carry for Mulligan on the second play. Now 5 wide, empty backfield. Brown, the snap, the throw, far side or near side out route is complete, bouncing off a tackler to the 40, breaking through 30, and down near the 25-yard line.
They made it past the 50. Jackson State made it past the 50, and they doing no huddle.
That was the SWAC's leading receiver, Rico Powers.
They coming back with this no huddle.
Yeah, and they want
to tire you out.
And they went 5 wide for the first time all game, which kind of confused our secondary.
Right.
Now Jackson State going fast again, 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line of Bethune-Cookman. They started this drive all the way back at their own 32. And just 3 plays later, here they are. High snap into the belly of the receiver. Moultrie spinning. That's Miller still on his feet. 20, 19, 18-yard line. And that's an 8-yard rush on first down, setting up 2nd and 2 at the 19.
It's something about a spin move when you know you're coming in for the tackle, but when you can hit that spin in the midst of that tackle, it throws you off. You can't make the tackle clean.
It looks like the JSU offense has woken up a little bit here.
Yeah, they've wide awake now.
Brown in the gun. Ahmad Miller to his right in the backfield. 2 receivers right, single left. Now 1 comes in motion. That's Sevens McGee. Delayed handoff up the middle into the teeth of the defense. Moultrie spinning off tacklers down to the 12. 1st and 10 Jackson State.
I don't know. They've been dancing with somebody because every time they run that ball, they spin. It's a spin somewhere, and they make it right up the field.
And now Jackson State in the danger zone. 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. Jason Brown. 3 receivers to aim at, 2 right, single left. Takes the snap, handoff again. Moultrie cuts back, meets a maroon and gold wave at the 9-yard line, and they'll say forward progress got him to the 8, 2nd down.
Good way to step that. You got to stop this run game. You got to execute on this run game.
This is 2nd down and effectively goal. They can get a 1st down inside the 2.
Right.
But at this point, they're going to be looking for the end zone. And they've just run the ball down our throats, which they haven't been able to do majority of the first half of this game.
So now they in run mode.
But they've got 4 receivers out there, 3 to the right, 1 to the left, ball near hash. Moultrie is still the running back on the left hip of Brown. Now he motions out. Brown takes the snap over the middle. It hit the defender in the back and is incomplete. That was Laquan Johnson. He had no idea, but the ball hit him in the back of the head and it's incomplete.
Right. All he did was hit his hands up and the ball just came his way. He didn't even know. But
He was looking the other way.
He just wanted to blind you. That's all I could do.
Sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good, and well, Bethune-Cookman will take it. 3rd down and 7.
That's just a great way to raise your hands in school, right?
Pick me.
I got the answer.
5:46 to go first half. Jackson State threatening, down 6-2. Brown with Moultrie on his left hip. 2 receivers to the right. Bethune-Cookman 4 down linemen, 2 middles. Tight end motions left to right. Snap to Brown. He's going to roll to his left after the fake handoff to the back of the end zone. A diving catch. Is it caught? It was close. Touchdown, Jackson State.
He was right. It was close. It was very close because it looks as if it could have been right out of bounds, but they said he was in bounds.
We may review this, but for right now, it's a Duke Miller touchdown grab. He was crossing from right to left in the back of the end zone and dragged his foot on a diving catch after Brown rolled to his left.
Jackson State came right down the field, running the ball, opening up the gaps, running their blocks like they should have, and had open gaps. And then you just come down on the first, second and goal. Wide receiver come across the middle, wide roll out.
Now we're going to see Jackson State go for 2 because, remember, they don't have a kicker. All they have is the soccer player, Leilani Armenta, and they don't want to have to use her if they don't want to. So 2-point conversion attempt here. 3 receivers right now. The tight end motions back into the formation. 2 receivers all the way to the far side. Brown, pitch underneath, fighting for the goal line. It's a scrum, and it is a fumble on the play, and Bethune-Cookman picks it up. No good on the 2-point conversion.
Good way to step up to play that 2-point conversion. That was a quick pitch in. As you pitched, the quarterback was running out and did a pitch back right there, but the defensive line was right there to stop the ball and push the ball back. And evidently in the pushback, it became loose with the ball and picked up and recovered.
It's a weird scoreline here. It's 8-6, Jackson State, with 5:38 to go in the first half. We'll take a break and be right back. VCU on the ball next. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman University football on the CatEye Network at 1380 WELE. Jackson State scored that touchdown in 9 plays, covering 68 yards, and they take an 8-6 lead on Bethune-Cookman. The soccer player, Leilani Armenta, chips this ball up. It's going to be fielded. Oh, it's going to be loose at the 40. Jackson State tries to dive on it. I think BCU has it. And that knuckleball kick coming out of the female soccer player is really giving our upmen some problems here.
Well, that's a good strategy to use. When you can have a kicker that kicks like that, just throw the ball up, get short ends, and penetrate the ball.
Bethune-Cookman is going to be on offense. They did recover the ball. It was a little hairy there for a second.
Yeah, hairy.
They'll be at their own 39-yard line.
You got to be careful with kicks like that, though. You got to know how to just cover the kick and just stay down. Don't try to get back up. Don't try to do anything else. Just recover the ball. Stay on top of the ball.
last time Bethune-Cookman the offense was on the field, they scored a touchdown in 8 plays, covering 54 yards in 4 minutes and 22 seconds, ending in a Juvensley Bazul 4-yard rush up the middle for a touchdown. They're back on offense right now at their own 44-yard line. Into the belly of the receiver, trying to stretch the play to the left, trying to get outside. That's Juvensley Bazul at the 50, falls forward, close to a first down for BCU at the 48-yard line, pickup of 8 yards on the play.
That's how you move your tight end in motion to the strong side, and you run and execute that strong side. As those defensive guys came up, he was eligible to catch the gap and beat them through the punch and make almost the first down.
Juvensley Bazul with the carry on that last play, 2nd and 2. Bazul still in there. They're still using Overton as the tight end. Bazul up the middle, delayed handoff, powering forward, first down Bethune-Cookman to the 44.
Yeah, and that's how you penetrate the first down. So you keep running plays like that to the strong side with the motion of the tight end, you can come back in and make those easy plays on the inside.
And also, Walter Simmons can pull that ball away and take off himself on a read option whenever he so pleases if he sees the Jackson State defense committing too many bodies to that strong side.
Right.
1st and 10 for Bethune-Cookman from the Jackson State 44. 2 receivers left. Bazul still in the game. Simmons takes the snap, 3-man rush, plenty of time. Now he rolls away to the right. He's going to scramble. He's going to throw down the left side numbers, and a catch is made. Diving grab for Bethune-Cookman inside the 35.
What a catch.
Tink
What a catch.
Boyd, the Virginia Tech transfer, lays out and drags his toes in to make the grab.
He jumps right up, grabs the ball, toes inside, slide right outside of bounds. First down.
First down BCU approaching the red zone at the 25-yard line of Jackson State, going left to right. Snap to Simmons. Fakes the handoff under immediate pressure. He's going to throw the screen pass to the left. It's going to be caught near the 35. Nabanye Moore forced out of bounds. No gain on the play. Well, Simmons did a good job to get rid of that ball as he had 2 red and blue jerseys chasing him down immediately.
They came in, they saw it coming, and they released right in, target trying to get him, but he was eligible to get that ball out to the receiver on the swing motion.
Nabanye Moore, not really a pass catcher. That's only his 3rd catch of the season. He's in there more of a blocking tight end.
Right.
You'll see Khalil Overton take more catches. 2nd and 10 from the 25. 3 receivers left, single right. Now they motion Bivens out into the flat for a 4-receiver set. Simmons looking towards the end zone. There's a man open there. It's incomplete.
Good way for the offensive line to hold that block, though. Gave him time enough to get the ball down the field. Just that safety on top and the DB behind. It's kind of tough trying to throw the ball in a position like that.
He was looking for Jalen Terzardo on a post route, and the defensive backfield for Jackson State did a really good job of getting back there and covering it. Tavares Jones got the pass breakup.
Right. When you're covering like that on the top of the ball, safety-wise, it's going to be hard. You got to read that safety and make sure that safety can split back and forth between the other receivers.
3rd and 10 for Bethune-Cookman from the Jackson State 25. Not sure if this is in Cade Hector field goal range, but we will see. But right now, let's get the focus on getting the first down. 2 receivers left, single right. Bivens in to block as the running back. Simmons throws far side. Moore incomplete. Tried to drag his feet with a one-handed grab. Would have been short anyway.
Yeah, it would have been short and probably out of bounds all too at the same time. He kind of overthrew it just a little bit, trying to get the accuracy on it.
And we are going to run on Cade Hector to attempt to kick a field goal. 1 of 2 on field goals so far this season with a long of 45. That's the longest in the SWAC this season. This will be from 40-42.
Yeah, Cade talked about it. He said this in the beginning of the game.
Snap, hold from DeTilio. Kick is on the way. It is good.
Kick is good. Hector made it.
3 points from down under, and Bethune-Cookman with 3 minutes and 7 seconds to go in the first half take the lead. Again, it's 9-8.
Yeah, back to the baseball scores again, all right?
But again, sustained drive. Bethune-Cookman got a couple of first downs. They took what the defense gave them, and in the end, got points.
Right, and that's what you needed from the offense to see what your offense can do in a game like this.
3:07 to go in the first half. Bethune-Cookman on defense. When we come back, trying to hold on to this 1-point lead. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman University football on the CatEye Network and 1380 WELE. Bethune-Cookman takes a drive into Jackson State territory and ends it with a Cade Hector field goal. The Wildcats lead the Jackson State Tigers 9-8 with 3 minutes and 7 seconds left here in this first half. And Chris, it's been a competitive game so far, but on that last Jackson State drive, they really showed that they can turn the offense on. What does the defense have to do now to respond?
Well, the defense is going to have to turn on as well. The defense got to understand how to execute defensively of what they're trying to accomplish and do.
Hector, the kick is recovered by 7. McGee at the 10-yard line. He's going to be wrestled down at the 22-yard line. Ball looked like it came out, but McGee recovered it, so Jackson State football. Kickoffs have been an adventure today with the replacement kicker from the soccer team and fumbles and up men having trouble with the ball. It's been a weird game in this first half, and there's still 3 minutes left in it.
Looking at the backyard kid games that we used to play, kicking the ball around, just trying to work on your punt game.
That's almost what it feels like, but at one of the highest levels of football in the world.
Right.
Jackson State back on offense behind quarterback Jason Brown. They'll start at their own 23 officially. 2 receivers right, that's the short side of the field, 1 to the left. Mulligan in the backfield is going to take the handoff, try and spread the field to the left. BCU defenders try to get off blockers, and they do. Beautiful job. I believe that was Shelton Quarles who upended him for no gain after he tried to stretch the play.
Yeah, he tried to stretch it out and couldn't get in, but Quarles came right in and did what he needed to do because he saw it coming.
Laquan Johnson also in the vicinity, might be credited with a half tackle there. 2nd and 10 now. Brown, snap, flag, false start. First penalty for either team in this game, and that's something we wanted to bring up in the pregame show, but I didn't really have time to. This Bethune-Cookman team, #1 in the SWAC in penalties against, only 16 through 3 games.
Right. You got to control the code. You got to control what you do, and you got to control how you play the game. Penalties hurt you. They hurt you.
Jackson State now going to be backed up to the 19-yard line, 2nd down and 15. Receivers in twins, 2 on each side. 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers for BCU. Snap, play action. Brown in the pocket, under pressure, rolls to his right. Pumps, now throws, incomplete into the BCU bench. Great pressure up the middle.
Yeah, you got the quarterback. Once you get him moving, get him out of position, it turns the game over pretty quickly for him.
Deontay Washington, the nose tackle, in with pressure. 3rd down and 15 now from the 19, and this would be a huge stop for BCU with halftime looming. Empty the tank, get off the field. Receivers still 2 by 2. Only 1 middle linebacker now. It's De'Aris Thomas. 2:15 to go in the first half. Jackson State hard counting, trying to get BCU to jump offside. Now they snap it. Brown in the pocket, has to roll to his right. Throws across his body. The top pass is tipped and incomplete. It was tipped to the line of scrimmage. It floated over the middle. Joshua Thornhill had a stab at an interception, but it falls to the ground. 4th down.
It was thrown just a little bit too high because even in the midst of that interception, he was right there, just delayed and jumping, trying to catch the ball. But that
there's a flag.
And I
it's a
was getting ready to say
holding,
that, yes.
And they're going to decline the penalty and force Jackson State to punt.
Yeah, because as you can see, you didn't get a chance to see it, but as the defensive line was trying to get up the field, you saw him being held just a tad bit.
Yeah, sorry. Once the quarterback rolls out, I got to focus on him. I'm not looking behind him.
I got your back. I got your back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Matt Knoll on for his 4th punt attempt of the night. Darnell Dees hasn't been able to return one yet. He stands at his own 45-yard line. 2:08 to go first half. Knoll punts away down the far numbers. It's going to bounce at the 50 and roll and take a Jackson State roll 40, 39, 38, 37, down right there at the 37-yard line. Bethune-Cookman back on offense and a chance to pad the lead with 1:56 to go in the half.
This is what was needed for Bethune-Cookman University for the first conference game. You need to see what the offense can do, what can happen with the defense, and how everybody can play.
And this is it must be a huge boost in confidence to these guys, right? Because you've played your Miamis, you've played your Memphises. Yes, you had the win against Savannah State, but how much can you really take from them? This is a field, a hostile environment against neutral competition, and you're holding your own.
Right. You're coming back in from the Deion Sanders era where you want to come in and prove a point now.
1st and 10, Bethune-Cookman at their own 38-yard line. Left to right they go. 1:56 to play in the first half. Simmons in the gun. He's going to take the snap, back to pass all day. Now the pocket breaks down, going to roll to his right, throw to the far sideline, caught at the 50-yard line, coming back for the ball as he's driven into his own bench into a crowd of yellow jerseys. That's Tink Boyd. First down, Bethune-Cookman, 12-yard gain.
He almost wanted to take off on that, but those linebackers didn't do a delay blitz. They stayed at home, and that opened up for the wide receiver.
And that's the adjustment that Jackson State has been forced to make because BCU has been so effective running the ball in this second quarter. First and 10 for Bethune-Cookman, right at the midfield stripe. Snap to Simmons. Here comes the delayed blitz. He's hit as he throws. The ball's hanging in the air, and it is incomplete off the fingertips of Davino Ellington down to the 20-yard line. He really launched that one, and now Simmons is slow to get up. And then a BCU offense that has already lost 2 quarterbacks this season. The man behind him is Dominique Ponder, a true freshman.
You don't want. This is not a nice look. This is not a nice look for Bethune-Cookman. Let's see if he can tough it out just a little bit and see what he can do.
I think he was just trying to throw that ball away. He got nailed as he let it go.
He did. That pressure came right up the middle, that delayed blitz, and it executed well for Jackson State.
The middle linebackers, Isaac Peppers and Javaris Jenkins for Jackson State, are doing a nice job at bringing those delayed blitzes. Second and 10 from the midfield stripe. Simmons still in the game at quarterback, but he's going to hand the ball off, try to stretch to the play left. Here is Jimmy Robinson. He only falls forward, gain of 1 to the 49, third down and 10.
Yeah, the defense is already picking up on that, and that's what they're looking for. They know Bethune-Cookman is going to run this ball, so they're looking for that run to come through.
Clock runs 1:15 to go first half. Bethune-Cookman trying to get out of this first half with the lead. They currently are up 9-8, 1:08 and counting. They've got 19 more seconds that they can let this run off the clock. Simmons in the gun on 3rd and 10 from the 49-yard line of Jackson State. Right on that JSU logo at midfield. Simmons takes the snap, looks to throw. Short to Tink Boyd, makes a man miss at the 45, pushed out at the 43-yard line. Not close enough for a first down, but this may be in go-for-it territory in kind of no man's land here.
Yeah, you want to go for this.
Clock stops, 51 seconds to go. They are going to go for it here on 4th down. They're 1 for 1 on 4th down conversions tonight.
The offensive line is holding their blocks pretty well on these little small delayed blitzes that have been coming in.
The one they got was a 4th and 2. This is a 4th and 4, a harder task.
It is.
And we may see BCU call a timeout here. No, Jackson's going to call a timeout. Look, the defense wasn't really set up the way that Coach Stevens wanted it to be. Of course, we've got the new head coach for Jackson State this year, T.C. Taylor, former JSU quarterback and wide receiver, graduated in 2001, played professionally with the Patriots and the Frankfurt Galaxy in the European League of Football. Do you remember the European League of Football?
Most definitely.
Runner-up for the 2001 Connerly Trophy for the best college player in Mississippi. Well, the man he lost to was pretty darn good, Eli Manning.
Yeah.
But he is the man that has been kind of tapped to take over this program that Deion Sanders led for the last 2 years.
Deion passed the torch to TC and said, I believe in you. I know you know what you're doing, and you can take these young men, make men out of them. And that's the whole purpose of all of our football organizations, to create men for our society that we live in, to be leaders.
And, of course, we've seen Deion have success at Oregon, of course, or at Colorado, a setback today at Oregon, but we are back on the field and ready to go. 4th down and 4. Bethune-Cookman needs the 39 of Jackson State for a first down. Jakari Allen Johnson crosses right to left. That leads Tink Boyd alone at the 40-yard line. Snap to Simmons. Here comes the all-out blitz. It's a free play down the middle, intercepted at the 10-yard line. Flags flying everywhere. There's a flag at the line of scrimmage. There's players pushing and shoving afterwards. There's a flag in the secondary of the 20-yard line. We got chaos here, Chris.
Yeah, I'm looking at goal, I'm looking at flags, I'm looking at red, I'm looking at some of everything all over the place.
So there was a definite jump offsides from Jackson State. Then there was a flag in the secondary. I'm not sure what that's for.
Yeah, I don't know was it pass interference?
It might have been, because Simmons knew that there was a free play and just took a shot.
Right.
It was intercepted at the 10-yard line. That's not going to stand. They're backing Jackson State up, so it looks like both penalties are on the Tigers.
Wow.
We are waiting for referee Robbie Wright to tell us what's what.
And this is what.
But it does look that they're going to move BCU all the way down close to the 30.
Wow. Here we go. Let's see what we're going to talk about.
So they did call pass interference, and they called it on Jalen Hughes. So that's a huge let off for BCU as the Jackson State defense was going to get off the field, but penalties again. 4th penalty on the Tigers here in this first half.
The penalties will make or break you, and in this point for Jackson State, it's breaking them. But it's helping for Bethune-Cookman University as they get down the field. Now they're within almost field goal range for Hector to come in if we need to execute with 41 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, we have 2 timeouts left to the maroon and gold. So does Jackson State here in this first half, so we could extend the game, and maybe we could even run the ball if we wanted to. Heavy set look with Robinson in the backfield, just a single receiver out wide to each side. Handoff Robinson up the middle looking for a lane. Nice job by the offensive line. 3-yard gain. Antoine Wells, the right guard, really pushed his way through there.
That's what he did. He pushed right through, opened up on the defensive tackle and over to the linebacker at the same time, which was amazing. You don't see that too often.
Bethune-Cookman takes a timeout, their second of the half. They'll have 1 left. Homecoming is right around the corner. Come out and rep your Wildcats on Saturday, October 14th, as Bethune-Cookman hosts Texas Southern for another crucial SWAC matchup. Kickoff is set for 3 p.m. Get your tickets today at the BCU box office or at Ticketmaster.com. And if you're further afield and unable to get back for homecoming, which I recommend trying to get down there, but if you can't, we'll have it live on CatEye Network Radio and 1380 WELE as well.
That's right. We'll be broadcasting. If you've never been to a Bethune-Cookman University homecoming game, you might want to get there as fast as possible. The tailgating is amazing. It's exciting. And it's a family reunion pretty much. And everybody's giving everybody some of everything. And everybody's cooking some of everything. So I love it.
Stay up to date with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook and follow the Wildcats on Twitter and Instagram at BCU_athletics. For the latest on BCU football, follow at BCU Gridiron on Twitter and Instagram. 2nd down and 7 for Bethune-Cookman from the Jackson State 25-yard line. Attacking the end zone to listeners right. 32 seconds to go in the first half. Fake the handoff. Simmons forced to scramble away. He's going to throw the ball across his body into the BCU bench and again hit hard as he threw the ball and gets up laboring on that left foot.
Oh, man, I think we're in trouble. He has to come off the field.
And he can't put it, he's not putting any pressure on that left foot. And now here's the true freshman, Dominique Ponder.
All the way from Naples, Florida, standing at 6'5".
Yep.
6'5".
Did a post-grad year at Myrtle Beach Collegiate Academy after a Naples high school career. 3rd down and 7 from the 25. Robinson. It's going to be a swing pass over the middle, batted up in the air and intercepted. He was looking for the slant to Dakari Allen Johnson. It was off the hands of one defender and into the hands of another, and Jackson State is going to get out of there with no points.
Flag on the play. They threw a flag out against team celebration, right?
That's not going to change the that's not going to change the outcome as Isaias Guthrie, the transfer from Delaware State, picked it off. It is an excessive celebration penalty as they went over to celebrate with the band behind the right-hand end zone. But man, there's 19 seconds left in the half. I'm gonna go in a little bit. I know I'm supposed to be biased. True freshman quarterback, first collegiate snap. There is 19 seconds left in the half. Run the ball.
Run the ball.
Run the ball.
That's your best execution. You down on your end. You close by. I'll take my chances with a turnover this way.
Jackson State's going to kneel it out, and we're going to head to the half. But Bethune-Cookman leaves points on the table. But rant over. Let's look at the positives. The Wildcats lead at the break 9-8 in a low-scoring half of football here at Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium. Your thoughts on the first half, Chris?
In the first quarter, kind of was nervous a little bit because BCU wasn't executing the way they could have. But they came back in the second half, in the second quarter, execution, getting the ball down the field, opening up what you can see. Now with Walter being a little shaky right now, that's what I'm going to say. We're just going to call him a little shaky. After halftime, I think Walter could come back and get right back into this game. Let's see.
It is halftime here from Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium. The sun has fully set. It is dark. The floodlights are on. The Sonic Boom of the South is getting ready to take the field for their halftime performance. We're going to run you through some first half stats and figures. Afterwards, we go back to the studio to Larry Steele and for Dan Ryan, history lesson on This Week in BCU Football. Also a Leviticus Glover interview talking about the Mary McLeod Bethune Performing Arts Center. That's coming up after these halftime stats. Passing yards, Walter Simmons 110, Jason Brown 55. Receptions, Dakari Allen Johnson 4, Fabian McCray 3. Receiving yards, Dakari Allen Johnson 58, Davino Ellington 43, Fabian McCray and 7 McGee, and Rico Powers all have 16 for Jackson State. Rushing yards, Jimmy Robinson 25, Walter Simmons 10, Juvensley Bazul 8, but he has the Bethune-Cookman touchdown. Jackson State has done their best work on the ground. Desmond Roltree, 36 yards. Andre Hunt, 24 yards. Irv Mulligan, 16 yards on the ground. Of course, the one touchdown was scored by Juvensley Bazul. Rushing for Bethune-Cookman, 7 McGee got his touchdown. Receiving for Jackson State. Defensively, Darius Thomas leads the team as he has done all year with 5 tackles. Isaac Peppers and Kendrick Wiggins have 3 for Jackson State. Nobody has gotten a sack for Bethune-Cookman, but once Isaac Peppers and Carlton Goodell each have a sack for Jackson State. We now send this one back to our WELE studios in Daytona Beach, Florida. Here's Larry Steele. Once again, if you're listening on YouTube, you're about to hear the Dan Ryan This Week in BCU Football.
Welcome to Halftime Central, y'all. This is Larry Steele, but it's not my show. It's the Dan Ryan Show. What's up, man?
Larry, how you doing today?
It's another day, man. I'm happy to talk to you. All the things that go with good, I'm happy about.
And I just want to wish you and I want to wish everybody out there a belated 21st of September.
Did you?
You do remember the 21st night of September, don't you?
Is that a day I always remember?
Baby, yeah, everybody.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, baby.
Well, we're talking, just a reminder, because we had a bye week last week, we are talking about the 1973 football team, 50 years ago, won the SIAC championship, and it's probably remembered as one of the greatest teams in BCU history. And this week, they were back in action after a week, and we talked about one thing, how good this defense was. You know, when they beat South Carolina State 2 weeks ago, 13-7. Well, after a bye week in September, they go on the road to Morris Brown and pitch a shutout with a 26-0 victory. They held the Wolverines to 187 total yards. The Wolverines never really ever threatened to score. So we're going to be talking defense a lot here. Stars of the game were Wayne Allen, the running back. He had 117 yards rushing. He scored 1 touchdown on the ground. He scored 1 on the air from the great Willie Collins, who also threw a touchdown pass to Otis Evans as they took a 21-0 lead, and the game was pretty much over at halftime. In the second half, the defense got on the board with a safety, and then Ernest Renfro, who I talked to on Facebook this week, and who will be telling me more about his game-winning field goal against Albany State and that go-ahead field goal against Florida A&M and the big game back in later on November. And so it was a good week. The Wildcats went to 2-0 that week and had a big victory, or a big game. I'm great. I just spoiler alert. Don't listen. Had a big game with John Stallworth and Alabama A&M coming into Welch Memorial Stadium that week. So I don't know. And here's the deal, because we were doing the research about that, and for all these years we've had it as a 26-10 victory, and now we learned this week it was a 26-0 victory. So should I be happy we finally got it right? Or should I be angry that the score's been wrong in the media guide for all these years?
I think we ought to be happy we got it right, because that's the most important thing.
There you go. Well, that's this week. Again, we'll be talking to you at halftime next week. Going to be talking Hall of Fame football players, so we're looking forward to that. And Larry, appreciate you. And then also, too, shout out to Alex Starling, who's going to be playing in the Australian NBL. That's their NBA. Sent me a care package this week with a hoodie and with an autographed jersey, so I just want to make sure he knew how much I appreciated that.
You know, Alex Starling is one of the toughest basketball players ever to play at Bethune-Cookman University. I saw him play up live and personal down there on the floor. He's a tough dude, man. Tough dude.
I'm going to tell you that one story. The greatest moment I've had in one of my days at BCU, 2011. It's Bethune-Cookman, Florida A&M. It's Moortown. And the thing was, it was the conference settings. We'd already clinched the regular season championship. We're in overtime. This bad fourth 96-95 game. CJ Reed drives the layup. We ties the game, and then after that, Alex steals the inbound pass, hits a shot off his left foot, banks, kisses it off the glass. We win in overtime. is probably one of the greatest ones I've had the privilege of covering.
Yes, Alex Stallings, one of the greatest players ever to play for BCU.
They're definitely the greatest tipping in the history of Bethune-Cookman basketball.
All right, Dan, as always, we appreciate you. See you next week.
All right, you got it.
Welcome back from high atop Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium here in Jackson, Mississippi. Michael Torello along with Chris Shaw as we have hit the halftime interval as the Jackson State Tigers trail the Bethune-Cookman University Wildcats 9-8. And our SID Bryce Wojnowski was up here during the break and informed me that this is the 5th time since joining the SWAC that BCU has led in a conference game. We have won 4 of those 5 contests.
Yeah, just the 5th time in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
For a lead.
Yeah, but where a lead is only one, it's the slimmest of margins. Now, as we like to do at the half on this broadcast, let's get you some scores. Chris, what's going on around the SWAC?
Well, around the SWAC, you got the big game between Alabama State and Florida A&M in the 3rd quarter. Now, Florida A&M with 14-10 over Alabama State. Prairie View is also playing against Alcorn State, all right? Alcorn State is standing at 10-7. And Mississippi Valley and North Carolina Central, that game just ended, and oh my Lord, shellacking in the making, 45-3 North Carolina Central against Mississippi Valley.
It's been a tough year for those Delta Devils. Losses to Delta State and Central, and now North Carolina Central.
Yeah, it's a Central thing. Listen, in other games, Grambling State is winning has won 35-23 against Texas Southern. Alabama A&M and Arkansas Pine Bluff, 31-24 on the Thursday night game.
Yeah. Now around the FBS, Florida leading Charlotte 16-7 at the half. East Carolina over Gardner-Webb 30-0. That's in the 4th quarter. Florida International trails Liberty 31-6 in the 3rd quarter. Wake Forest trails Georgia Tech 20-3 in the 3rd. It's halftime and Arkansas leads number 12 LSU 13-10. Look out for them Hogs.
LSU been on a tough battle since the loss to Florida State, so they're coming back in, and LSU got to show something.
Oregon State and Washington State, the remainder of the Pac-2, battling out west. That game is at halftime. Washington State up 28-14, and what would be a bit of an upset out there in the Pac-12. Sam Houston State down 24-7 to Houston at halftime. Middle Tennessee up on Colorado State 17-10. Of course, that Colorado State was on the national spotlight last week in that battle against Colorado. Stanford leads Arizona 10-7 at the half. Tulane over Nicholls State 27-7 at the half. Wyoming down to Appalachian State 12-7 at the half. Southern Miss behind against Arkansas State. Finally, something going right for the Butch Jones and the Red Wolves. Right? They lead at the half 20-17. Nevada way up on Texas State, 17-0 at the half. That would be a first win for Nevada on the season, and against the Texas State team that put 77 points up against these Jackson State Tigers last week. So offensive output hard to find for the Bobcats. Late in the 2nd quarter, Georgia up on UAB, 14-7. Texas over Baylor, 14-3. That's in the 2nd quarter. Notre Dame and Ohio State still scoreless as they approach the halftime interval there.
Ooh, that's going to be a tough game right
there.
Penn
State and Iowa. Penn State up 10-0 in that game in the 2nd quarter. Indiana over Akron 7-0 in the 2nd. Former BCU opponent Memphis is leading Missouri, who had that big walk-off win over Kansas State. It's early in the 2nd quarter there, but they lead 10-7. Minnesota leads Northwestern 14-0. Mississippi State trails South Carolina 14-7. State of Mississippi, it's been rough today on the gridiron. Louisiana over Buffalo 7-0. North Carolina and Pittsburgh tied at 7 into the 1st quarter. UCF roll Knights on top of Kansas State 10-7 at the end of the 1st quarter. Later tonight, UTEP and UNLV, USC and Arizona State, California and Washington, Kent State and Fresno State, and New Mexico State and Hawaii. A couple of crucial scores that finished earlier. Florida State in overtime beats Clemson up in Death Valley. That was a great game. We were watching that earlier. We were at the hotel. Oregon way over Colorado, 42-6. Dion takes his first loss as the head coach of Colorado. We'll turn back to that game. Let's rattle through a couple of more of these scores as there's about 3 minutes until the 2nd half. Utah beats UCLA 14-7 in a low-scoring contest in the Pac-12. Alabama bounces back and wins against Ole Miss 24-10. Oklahoma over Cincinnati 20-6. Duke over UConn 41-7. UConn, I'm sorry, my friend Andy Hamilton is a graduate of UConn, but UConn's struggling right now. Miami 41-7 over Temple. Tennessee 45-14 over UTSA. Syracuse rallied from an early deficit to beat Army 29-16. Texas A&M beat Auburn 27-10 in an ugly game.
Yeah, wow.
Troy beat Western Kentucky 27-24. Kentucky beat Vanderbilt 45-28. Marshall, another Sun Belt victory over a Power 5 foe. They beat Virginia Tech 24-17. Sun Belt supremacy.
That's it.
TCU beat SMU in the battle for the frying pan 34-17. Northern Illinois dropped one to Tulsa 22-14. Toledo beat Western Michigan 49-31. Georgia Southern beat Ball State by a mountain slide 40-3. Illinois beat Florida Atlantic 23-17. Maryland over Michigan State 31-9. Nebraska gets a win over Louisiana Tech 28-14. And Louisville defeats Boston College 56-28. Those are your scores from around the college football world. 125 to go as we focus back in on the playing surface at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Bethune-Cookman leading at the half. Let me get three things from you, Chris. What have we done well? What have we done poorly? And what are we going to have to do in the second half to win the ball game?
What we done well was execute offensively the way we should have in throwing the ball. Great surprise. Defensively have stepped up to the plate to do what they need to do and stopping the offense of Jackson State to get into the end zone. What we need to work on now is whether we coming back with our quarterback or whether we're not coming back with a quarterback and having a true freshman to come in to take his time, to slow down, and play the game the way he knows how to play the game. We got to put some faith in him somewhere, somehow, and hopefully he can execute positively the way we're looking for.
Yeah, of course, Dominique Ponder, first collegiate snap, true freshman at a Myrtle Beach Academy, threw an interception.
Yeah.
It was deflected, but again, it was a tight pass into a tight window when really we might have been running the ball down at the end of the half. But we're going to move past that now because it might be his game the rest of the way after Walter Simmons limped off the field towards the end of that first half. And
I don't
man,
think he walked off.
He limped off.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I was not impressed by Walter Simmons the first couple of games of this season. He has stepped up in the first half tonight to lead this team as quarterback. It would be a huge blow for the Maroon and Gold if he is not able to go in this second half.
Yeah, we already heard about our starting quarterback from the beginning and the backup of a backup. Now we're down to a backup of a backup of a backup that's backing up.
I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, it has been an adventure at quarterback this season. 4 players have taken snaps under center. Walter Simmons, Talik Bethea, Luke Sprague, and now Dominique Ponder. And Ethan DiTilio is on the travel roster, the freshman from Matanzas High School, local kid.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't come to that, but we'll see.
But, you know, in spite of it all, I believe, I got faith. I got faith, and I'm believing off the $1.50 what Bethune-Cookman is known for. We're going to get 150 yards, and let's execute and get to this win.
I think one thing we need to do better is run the ball, right?
Yes.
Our top rusher, we're going to be back to the stats here. Our top rusher is the quarterback, Walter Simmons. He's got 20 yards. Uvensley Bazil, who's a 100-yard rusher, only has 13 yards on the ground. I think we need to go back to pounding the rock, trying to get them to commit guys to the box, and maybe, just maybe, then we can loosen the game up and start throwing the ball.
Yeah, once we get that run game execution, the passing the ball will be phenomenal.
Jackson State will start the second half with the ball. Cade Hector on to kick. Excuse me.
Let's get this ball down the field on the other end, and let's see what we can do defensively and keep Jackson State from advancing the ball.
Sevens McGee and Isaiah Spencer back deep to receive for Jackson State. They're at the 5-yard line. Hector puts his foot through the ball. We're underway in the second half. It's going to be a short kick fielded by Spencer at the 10-yard line. Cuts back to the middle and realizes right into a Bethune-Cookman wall at the 20-yard line. Nice kick coverage there.
That's how you break a wall. Coaches used to tell us all the time, the wall form, just run right through them, and that's exactly what just happened. Ran right through the wall, executed, hit the ball.
Back for the second half. If you're just joining us, my name is Michael Torello. Chris Shaw alongside me up here in the broadcast booth, outside in the camera well here at this
I'm waving at the camera
stadium.
crew over here. Now, hey, guys.
Jackson State in the all-red in honor of W.C. Gordon. This is the W.C. Gordon Classic. Red jerseys, red pants, blue helmet, blue numbers, white trim. They start at their own 19-yard line. Brown is the starting quarterback. Jason Brown takes the snap, looks to throw. Quarterback draw, though. He'll go right up the middle and be tackled from behind past the 25 to the 27-yard line. Pickup of 8 on the play.
Yeah,
they go fast. They're going to run the ball again, and a great job trying to shake off of blocks. That's
great
a tackle for loss back at the 25-yard line. A yellow wave carried over the offensive line and a tackle by Jalen Christian.
That's exactly what it was. They just pushed the ball and kept running down, sliding down the field.
You saw that the running back, Irv Mulligan, wanted to hit that A-gap. They just kept pushing him out, kept pushing him out, kept pushing him out. 3rd down and 4 now from the 25. Jackson State going right to left here, early 3rd quarter. Snap to Brown, a look to throw. Now take off and run right in to Eddie Walls, who throws him down for a sack. 4th down.
First sack on the defensive side for Bethune-Cookman University. Eddie comes right up the middle, just execute, bam, ate him up for lunch.
Ooh, baby, Eddie Walls is a madman in the middle.
What a defensive end, right?
Like, he came from the blind side, too, because the quarterback looked like there was a lane there, and then right as he decided to take off, it closed up immediately.
It looked like he dipped a little bit and just put that shoulder right in and got right in, and that's how he got past the offensive line.
And this is what BCU has done so well in this game. Getting off the field on 3rd down, and they're going to force another punt out of Matt Knoll. High snap, he rolls to his right, almost blocked, but it's a short arcing kick, and it's going to bounce into the hands of Jackson State. JSU football at midfield off the hands of the returner Darnell Dees as he tried to make the catch in traffic.
He waved it off. He waved it off and just stepped back.
That's the first big mistake that BCU's made in this ball game. Or second, they got a safety called against them.
You got all the referees huddling up trying to figure this thing out.
I'm surprised there wasn't. Well, I guess he didn't call for a fair catch.
Well, he did wave.
Okay, so we'll see.
There was a wave.
Okay, so BCU, once again, are going to get away with it. A couple of times tonight, we've gotten away with some stuff. It's illegal touching because they say Jackson State touched the ball first before it bounced off of Dees' hands. Wow.
I think the penalty guard is out there helping us out somewhere down the road, right?
I don't know who head coach Woody prayed to before this game, but the football god's smiling down on us right now.
So that's what, 4 penalties thus far for Jackson State?
5 penalties.
5 penalties. Wow.
4 in the first half, now 1 in the second. It'll give Bethune-Cookman the ball in Jackson State territory after the 10-yard penalty at the 47-yard line. Walter Simmons is the quarterback. We'll see what he looks like after going off injured. It's a Juvensley Bazul run to the left side, trying to get through the A-gap, and he'll lose a yard.
Well, at least Walter's back.
But we don't know how much he's limping back there in the backfield as we start to reset the play. True Thompson, the redshirt senior transfer from Florida State, made the tackle.
A great way to try to run this ball. Let's run the ball up the middle right now. First down. Now we down 2nd and 12.
Yep, 2nd and 12 back at the 49-yard line of Jackson State. 3 down linemen for the Tigers with 4 linebackers. Simmons, late blitz, going to throw to the far side. Caught coming back for the football is Davino Ellington, only his 2nd catch of the night. Close to the 40-yard line. We'll see where they spot it. They spotted at the 41, so it'll be 3rd down and 4.
Great catch, great catch. It looked like a post-comeback route, and he came right back to the ball and picked it up and caught it right in. 3rd down. 3rd
down for Bethune-Cookman. They got to get to the 37-yard line. They're at the 42. 12:05 to go, 3rd quarter, just out of the locker room. One man goes in motion right to left. Now 3 receivers set up on the left-hand side. Simmons takes the snap. Only a 4-man rush. He's got to dip out of the pocket, looking downfield, throws over the middle, incomplete. The throw was low and in front of Dakari Allen Johnson.
And a flag. 2 flags on the play.
And I think they're going to call holding there because it was the hold that allowed Simmons to get out of the pocket.
Right.
So they're going to decline the penalty now, 4th and 5. We may see the offense stay on the field. No, in a 1-point game, your defense has been playing good.
Don't risk it. Let's just kick it back. Let's get back to a 2-yard.
Yeah.
2-yard position, right?
Anthony Frederic did pin Jackson State deep earlier on in the game. They started at their own 2-yard line, but of course that was the touchdown drive that Jackson State had, 98 yards.
But this time it's going to be different. We done took a little small break coming back out. So let's pin them back down close by the end zone and see what we can execute and do from there defensively.
Frederic stands at his own 45. The punt, he gets it away barely. It's a fair catch called for and taken at the 6-yard line by Sevens McGee. Seven McGee, one of the, I often talk about the all-name team. That man's on the all-name team. 7 McGee wears number 7 from Rochester, New York, and a transfer from Oregon at 50 yards on the ground and 18 yards through the air in his time at Oregon.
Is he one of the 7 McGees? Is it 1 McGee, 2 McGee?
I don't think so.
Okay, all right.
Timeout on the field, 9-8 Bethune-Cookman, 11:44 to go third quarter. Jackson State on offense. When we come back, this is BCU football on the CatEye Network and 1380 WELE. Jackson State on the ball. 1st and 10 at their own 6-yard line. Going right to left. Brown in the gun. Mulligan back there with him on his right hip. Handoff. Mulligan trying to hit the B-gap. He does. Big hole up the middle. To the 10, 15, 20. Being chased right at the 20-yard line is where he is tackled. First down for Jackson State. Darnell Dees came up and made the tackle.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt every time. We put them in the end zone, and that gap opened up for them in the C gap for them to come right through.
The last time we had them down inside the 5 to start a drive, they drove 98 yards and put it in the end zone. So Jackson State trying to go fast, down 9-8, 11:15 to go third quarter. Brown motions a receiver out to the far side, now trips right. Brown going to look that way. Pocket collapse is going to take off over the middle, be hit and dropped at the 24-yard line, gain of 4. Actually, they'll spot that back at the 23.
Yeah, he didn't see anything down the field. He didn't want to take the risk, so he just decided to do like a quarterback delay and come up and run.
Actually push him back. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8. Spot the ball at the 22-yard line. Handoff Mulligan. This time no way through. Amari Jones with a huge tackle, and he rips the helmet off the defender, and it's going to be a face mask. I'm sorry, Amari Jones, Conroy Cunningham, ripped the helmet off of one of the offensive linemen. And that's going to be a face mask. First penalty of the night against BCU, and that's a big one.
We don't need this. You don't need this. You're only up by 1. You want to try to take care of yourself, take care of the ball, get the ball back, and let's put some more points on the board.
That was extracurriculars after a great defensive play.
It was a great defensive stop because he tried to run into that B gap, and the defensive line was right there.
And now they will move Jackson State all the way up close to midfield. 15-yard penalty. They'll spot the ball at the 38-yard line, going right to left. Tigers in all red. Bethune-Cookman maroon helmets, gold jerseys, white pants. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Tight end moves left to right. Brown claps his hands, takes the snap, looks to throw under pressure. Coming back for the catch near the 50-yard line is Fabian McCray, and he's going to pick up 8 yards to the 47-yard line. Give him second and 1 at the 47.
That was a great stop by Jabari Judon.
The Tigers go fast, handoff up the middle, and a huge wave of maroon and gold wrestles the runner down. Loss of 2. Adrian Hall, first man back there.
They said, not this time around. We got you now. So they're executing the plays on their run plays, and they tried to run to the right side of the field and get up the field, but it was not there for them to execute.
That was Ahmad Miller on the carry. He replaces Mulligan in the backfield right now. Loss of 3 on the play. 3rd and 3 from the 45-yard line. Brown in the gun. Trips left, single right. Brown to throw. Looks to the near side. Now the pocket collapses. He scrambles out to the 40. Takes off and runs 45. Did he get to the first down marker? He's close. No, he's a yard short, so it will be 3rd down and 1 at the 47, back to the line of, oh no, 4th down, excuse me.
4th down.
And 1. I think the Jackson State offense is going to keep on the field. No, they're going to punt it away.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a holding call on there because I did see a little holding, a little scuffling on that offensive line for them, but that's
I'm
fine.
shocked. 4th and 1.
Yeah,
I guess with the push our defensive line is getting, they don't want to risk it and give us
Right.
plus territory. So Matt Knoll on to punt. Darnell Dees to return. He stands at the 20. Last time the Tigers were in a position like this, it's going to be a fake. Oh, no, does eventually punt it. He pulled back to pass, then kicked it. Fair catch called for and now taken by Dees at the 26-yard line. That was a little scary
I
there.
thought, yeah, he hesitated real quickly on that punt.
Because he pulled the ball to his chest like he was going to throw it and
Right.
then punted. So
I guess he had to get his run accuracy in order to punt the ball downfield.
timeout on the field will take one, too. 8:46 to go. Wildcats still with a 9-8 lead here in Jackson, Mississippi. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman University football on the CatEye Network and 1380 WELE. Michael Turillo and Chris Shaw back with you at the Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium. Bethune-Cookman with a 9-8 lead. Wildcats on offense. 1st and 10 going left to right from the 25-yard line. One man in motion. Simmons jet sweep to Dakari Allen Johnson. He's got blockers in front of him. Looking for a lane. Dives forward to the 30. And it'll be about a 4-yard pickup depending on where they spot the ball.
Yeah, good way to motion that guy from right to left and pitch the ball right into his hand, open up on the outside. They're going to get it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen because I see it coming.
Second time we've run that jet sweep to Dakari Allen Johnson. He's picked up yardage both times.
Right. So it's going to open up eventually. We got to execute some way and drawing everybody to this side of the field.
Gain of 4, ball at the 30-yard line, 2nd and 6. 3 receivers to the right. Ball in the left hash. Simmons takes the snap. He's going to roll and throw a tight end screen to Banye Moore. Moore falls forward to the 35-yard line, close to a 1st down, 3rd down, and 1.
Inches away from that 1st down marker, but it's fine because we're seeing how we can execute this ball now and get down the field.
Earlier in the game, we ran that same tight end screen, but the receiver was Khalil Overton, and Overton dropped the ball.
Right.
That time we gave it to Moore, and he was able to fall forward for a gain of 5.
Yeah, just what we need.
3rd and 1. Ball on the 35-yard line of Bethune-Cookman. They got to get to the 36. Jackson State snacks the box. Hit in the backfield. The ball comes out. The ball comes out. It's loose on the ground. Jackson State has it. Running back to the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Tigers. Jackson State on a scoop and score, and they take the lead to the jubilation of this crowd here in Mississippi.
Why would you try to do all the spinning? You need 1 yard. Just execute power football right in the middle. He jumps right. He gets the ball, hand off to him, gets in, try to do a spin move, get hooked, and the ball comes up. Not once, but twice.
Douglas Fowler was the recipient. I didn't see who stripped the ball out of Jaden Bivens' hands, who got the handoff. But
I didn't see it either.
The ball was stripped out, it was loose, and it was picked up by Fowler and run back 35 yards for a Jackson State touchdown. That Jackson State has turned what has been a strength of VCU on its head. Defensive takeaways and defensive touchdowns. And Jackson State, with the offense looking a little bit anemic coming out of the half for VCU, that may be an important blow in this ball game.
It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. The way we've been trying to execute to get down the field already, now Jackson State is up 14-9.
They're going to go for 2 because, of course, they have to. Remember, their starting kicker, Gerardo Beza, is out. And they've got Leilani Armenta from the women's soccer team doing kickoffs today.
This Armenta, is this the first time that Jackson State has had a female on
I
the
believe
team?
so, yes.
Wow.
I remember there was one a female kicker for Vanderbilt a couple of years ago. I forget the young lady's name, but she played and actually made a couple of field goals and extra points and played for Vanderbilt. But this time they're going to go for 2. Didn't get it last time. Ball set up on the 3. Tight end in motion across the formation, left to right. Brown looking, throwing, tipped and incomplete. Nice job.
Good job
defensively by Omari Hill-Robinson to break that one up. And they have now gone for 2 twice and missed it twice. And flags fly everywhere after the play.
Personal fouls.
There is a VCU player lying on the ground and not getting up. The trainers are coming out to him. I turned away to look at you. I didn't see what happened.
It looked like it just unsportsmanlike conduct a couple of times for all 3 of those flags to come out.
It might probably is an offsetting penalty there. And this could be a big loss as the man that is being carried off for Bethune-Cookman is starting strong safety Josh Thornhill.
Yeah, that's going to hurt us. He's been playing pretty decent all season long, so we'll see what happens.
Thornhill, 8 tackles and 2 passes defended, and I think we're going to have the offsetting penalties here. The band is so loud I can't hear. We can't hear the referee,
anything.
but I believe that's what it was, offsetting personal fouls. The Sonic Boom of the South is literally right below our broadcast position.
They're right here.
They're loud.
No, they sound like they're right next to us. So whatever that offset play, whatever the penalty was, we'll get it back on this.
Bethune-Cookman volleyball is off to a hot start in SWAC play after a thrilling 5-set win against Alabama A&M last night. Come out and support your Wildcats tomorrow at noon at Moore Gymnasium as they take on Alabama State for Faculty and Staff Appreciation Day, or watch live on the CatEye Network. So if you're just joining us, it's 14-9, Tigers over Wildcats, and the Tigers just got one gift wrapped on a scoop and score.
Yeah, let's talk about how they did that. The Wildcats hit the ball, and it was a straight run play, but in the midst of it being a run play, the running back got the ball, came up and tried to spin, and that's how he got stripped. So in the midst of that spin, the ball became a fumble. It was picked up by the defense, but in the midst of that defense picking it up, it got hit again some way and popped up again, and that's when Jackson State took the ball and ran in for a touchdown.
So the running back on the field was Terry Lindsay. They only needed 1 yard, and I think he had it.
He had the yard.
But he was getting greedy, trying to go for more. All you need is 1, extend the drive, and you end up costing your team. But I'm sure the coaching staff, Coach Woody, will take him aside, say, hey, calm down. We still have a long game ahead. The Wildcats have been very competitive in this football game, especially defensively, down 5 points right now.
Down 5 points right now, but it's going to work out fine because it's 7:23 left in the third quarter. They getting ready to get the ball back. The way we've come out after the halftime is that offensively we can get down the field. We can push the ball. We just got to execute and push that ball and open up these gaps.
And, of course, a quarterback in Walter Simmons who's not playing at 100%, was injured early on right before the half, and Jackson State got an interception off of true freshman Dominic Ponder right before the half, and a drive that could have extended the BCU lead right before the half. And you wonder how much is that going to come back and bite us? We don't know.
That field goal would have helped us out instead of throwing the ball.
So back on to kick Leilani Armenta. And she kicks it short, gonna bounce at the 50-yard line. It's loose! The ball is loose at midfield. Jackson State thinks they have it. It's a mad scramble. Everybody in red is pointing to the left. Where will the referees point? It looks like Jackson State has the ball. It's still wrestling for it on the ground.
Boy, it's a hustle down there on that field for the ball. You got a maroon gold jersey down there. You got a red jersey down there. Who's going to come out on top?
Jackson State ball. And there's an injured Bethune-Cookman player down at the bottom of that pile now. Davino Ellington will get up and walk back, but we've been talking about it. The Wildcats have been flirting with disaster as the kicks have been short, they've been awkward, and that's the second time it's been fumbled. Now it's turnover, and Jackson State has all the momentum.
That's what we talked about. You know the ball is going to get kicked short now. All you got to do is just drop on the ball and lay on it.
And I would honestly maybe put Darnell Dees or even Juvensley Bazul up in that up man spot because you know the ball's coming that way.
Make it more of your hands team when she's out there kicking the ball.
So now the Tigers have a chance to really turn the screws. 2 straight turnovers for Bethune-Cookman. Jackson State up 14-9, 7:13 to go third quarter. Right at midfield, Brown, play action. Looking around, now rolls out to his left, still keeps his eyes downfield, going to throw down the numbers and throw it into the third level of the crowd, incomplete.
Yeah. Okay, so the fans are playing in the game too, got it. Yeah, that was a great pass to the sideline.
Well, Bethune-Cookman is doing a great job with a 3-man front of keeping the pressure up and forcing Brown to scramble. That time, Laquan Johnson was the man that got back there and forced him to move.
Keep him moving. Keep him out of the pocket.
2nd and 10. Ball spotted at the Bethune-Cookman 47. Pitch to the right side to Mulligan. He's got a convoy, and he's going to be dragged down from behind, close to a first down near the 37-yard line.
Amari Jones. Amari Jones on the stop right there at the ankle with an ankle tackle.
And all Jackson State is doing is just pitching it to the strong side and letting the wide receivers block.
So we got to get defensive line to shift and slide down the field.
3rd and an inch. Mr. Inches making his debut in the ball game tonight. 3rd and inches at the 37-yard line of Bethune-Cookman. Hand off, Mulligan looking for a lane first down. He's going to be dragged down by Laquan Johnson, but not before getting to the 34-yard line. Another Jackson State first down.
We gotta stop this run game. This run game is gonna kill us defensively if we don't put a stop to it. They run into the outside and they hitting these gaps running in with the way we're running our defense.
Both teams make substitutions now. 6:05 to go third quarter. 1st and 10 for Jackson State from the BCU 34. Hand off Mulligan, up the middle, nowhere to go. Maybe a gain of 1, 2nd and 9. And still more afters on the back end between some linebackers and some offensive linemen. This game is getting pretty chippy out there.
Chippy ain't the word. They come in full force now. Nobody wants to go home with an L. Everybody wants to go home with a W.
Yeah.
So only the strong survive.
Right now, the Tigers have all the momentum after back-to-back turnovers. A strip sack, scoop and score, and then a turnover on the ensuing kickoff. The BCU defense is gassed and trying to get off the field. 2nd and 9 at the 33. Brown claps his hands, another run to the B-gap left. Mulligan finds a way somehow to get through to the 20 down to the 19-yard line. First down, Jackson State.
That's stopped by Mr. Harris, and that's what's been working for Jackson State all game long. When they was down at the 4, down at the 2, they open up to those gaps on the left side and just run right through it, and it's wide open for them.
Quan Harris, the graduate transfer from Western Kentucky, made the stop. 1st and 10 for Jackson State at the BCU 20-yard line. Brown takes the snap, another handoff to Mulligan. They're just going to keep running this ball until it stops working. There's only a 2-yard gain up the middle. Nice job by the BCU defense. Conroy Cunningham in on the stop. Educate Brown also in the mix.
Yeah, great way to read that, understanding and knowing that this is what they're getting ready to do. So you got to be careful now, because now that you're reading this play, the quarterback is not necessarily handing the ball off just yet. He's keeping his hand right there in the pocket.
2nd down and 9 from the 19-yard line. They can get a first down at the 10 in the red zone now. Jason Brown, the graduate transfer from Virginia Tech, claps his hands, takes the snap, looks to throw over the middle towards the goal line, incomplete. Thought maybe there might have been a pass interference, but Jabari Jowden played good defense.
Great defense. Just stood right there in the box with him, put his hands up, and the ball sailed right through.
Now 3rd down and 9 from the 20. Holding him to 3 here would be really important. Brown gets the play from the sideline. T.C. Taylor calling out the plays. Now we go. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Ball left hash at the 19. Brown takes the snap. 3-man rush for Bethune-Cookman. It's a receiver screen, and it is cut down at the 19-yard line. Great job in open space. An undercut tackle from Laquan Johnson. 4th down and 9.
That's it. Good way to read that. Good way to stay home.
And they're going to go for it. I forgot they don't have a kicker.
They don't have a kicker.
So they're going to have to go for it. 4th down and 9. And so Bethune-Cookman could get out of here with a full stop.
3:25 left to go in the game.
3rd quarter.
Let's go.
3rd quarter, not the game.
Yeah, not the game.
Don't get too excited. 2 by 2, ball near hash. 4th and 9. Brown, play action. 3-man rush, he steps up. He looks to run. He cradles the ball. He's got nowhere to go. He's going to be wrapped up and dropped at the 18-yard line by LaFont. Dabula there as well. The Boo Birds come in from the Jackson State crowd. Turnover on downs for ECU.
All right, let's get this offense on the field. Let's get down and let's execute our run game. Let's execute some of these hook and curls in the middle. We're doing great on the comeback routes, too. Those comeback routes has been saving us on the edge.
And lost in all of our conversation about blitzes and 3-man fronts is the secondary is doing a great job not allowing Jason Brown, who almost threw for 1,000 yards in 4 games. He's gotten nothing down the field pretty much today.
Secondary is doing their job, and they're holding strong. Great job on the secondary.
Bethune-Cookman takes over deep in their own territory. Got to sustain a drive here. Down 14-9, 3:05 to go 3rd quarter. 2 by 2, the receivers, ball on the 18. Simmons in the game at quarterback, Bazul the running back. 3 down linemen for Jackson State. Now Bazul goes out of the formation. Simmons to throw, late blitz coming. Ball over the middle, it's in the air and tipped and incomplete. It was hanging up there off the hands of Corey Turner, and maybe a Jackson State player might have had a stab at an interception, but it does fall incomplete.
We got to play it smart. We got to play it smooth. I know we're trying to get down the field, but you got to look at your formation and how they running their DBs on your wideouts.
2nd down and 10 after the incompletion from the 18-yard line. Jackson State shuffles around their defense a little bit from a 3-man front. Now they got a 5-man front, both linebackers in the box. All 4 receivers bunched up close to the line. It's going to be a screen to the far side. Bazul, he's going to be run down back at the 12-yard line. That play was excellently defended. Nobody got out in front to block.
Nobody there to block. All 3 DBs for Jackson State were right there in the pocket, ready to go. They saw it coming. We got an injured man down on the field.
Tyus Martin got the tackle for Jackson State, and Bethune-Cookman, they've been kind of dropping like flies in this second half. Another player down, and that's Juju Bazul, who's up injured now.
This has been the story for Bethune-Cookman since the season started with injuries. We've already down 2 quarterbacks. Now you're down a running back.
Jacksonville, the Wildcats return to Everbank Stadium this season for another huge SWAC matchup. Come out and support your Wildcats at the home of the Jacksonville Jaguars on Saturday, October 21st, as the Wildcats play the Southern Jaguars. Get your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com. Wildcats facing a 3rd down and 15. Ball on the 15. 3rd down and 13. Ball on the 15. Got to get to the 28 for a 1st down.
We got to get this 1st down. We got to make some executions right here on some nice out routes.
3 receivers right, single left. Now Dakari Allen Johnson motions out of the backfield, make it a 5-wide set. 3-man rush to contend with. Simmons rolls left, throws down the numbers. It is overthrown and incomplete. Looking for Davino Ellington. There maybe was a little bit of space where Simmons could have floated that ball into him, but it was overthrown.
Yeah, it was just overthrown too much. It was right there. He saw it coming because he had the gap. He had to open. If he'd have pitched in and dropped right in. That's when you needed that gravity of the ball to kind of kick in and drop down.
And I think that's maybe where Simmons' leg is kind of hurting him because he can't plant on it to really get the power he needs to throw it down the field. He's kind of floating him up there.
Right.
And that's why he's been flirting with these interceptions. Frederic with his heels on his own goal line. McGee back deep to receive. Jackson State does not bring pressure. Nice punt by Frederic. It's going to go out of bounds on Jackson State's side of the 50, close to the 47-yard line. Still good field position for the Tigers as they start their next drive.
We got to work it. Our defense, special teams got to come in. I think a special team play will be a factor and give the motivation back to Bethune-Cookman if they can do it on the turnover, or at least fumble, make a forced fumble some way, somehow.
Or the defense has been playing good. What they haven't done is turn Jackson State over. If they can get a fumble, if they can get an interception or something to go their way, that could really swing the momentum back into Bethune-Cookman's favor, because where they've been good tonight is when they've started in plus territory off of those short kicks.
Right. So pushing the D-line is doing their job, pushing back and getting back there, but we got to open up something else.
First down and 10 for Jackson State from their own 48-yard line, going right to left. 2:14 to go, third quarter. Brown, quarterback run. He's going to be chopped down for a sack all the way back at the 45-yard line. A beautiful play from the defense. Secondary safety blitz for the Wildcats. Shelton Quarles on the sack.
Great job. Like I just said, the defensive line and everybody is getting back there. They getting to the quarterback, doing their part.
I think we've got a new quarterback in the game. This is Zy McDonald.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. I can't tell from up here looking at these numbers.
The junior transfer from Louisiana is in the game at quarterback. He takes the snap. He's going to throw a a running back screen. Being forced back is Moultrie, and he's going to be tackled at the 35-yard line. Another loss of 1.
Wait, at least Jalen Christian was right there to blow up the play, and everybody else came in to stop the play. So.
Yep. Third down and looks like 14.
Looks like, yeah, about 14.
Ball on the Jackson State 45-yard line. Not sure what happened to Jason Brown, but the backup, Zy McDonald, is in the game. This is not his first game action of the season. He has played. He takes the snap, pressure in his face, rolls to his right. He's going to take off, and he's going to be wrestled down. No, he stays on his feet, right at the 50-yard line. He's going to be short of a first down. He's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage right at midfield. Amari Jones had a chance for another sack, but he just slipped away from him. But thankfully, Darion Davis made the tackle in the secondary, and it's going to be fourth down for Jackson State.
Davis got right up there as a defensive end, contained the outside, which forced him over to the middle, which he's eligible to loose up and kind of help in on that tackle as well.
Matt Knoll sets a punt, the transfer from Delaware State. Graduate student.
This is where the special teams kick in at right here.
Darnell Dees back to return. Knoll rolls to his right, punts it down the far side numbers, and it's going to be fair caught at the 18-yard line. So right back where we were before for Bethune-Cookman on offense.
Backs against the wall. But, you know, the thing about Bethune-Cookman with their back against the wall, they do know how to prevail and come out and play. So this is what we're looking for. Let's run the ball with 17 seconds left in the third quarter. Let's just run the ball and hit into the fourth quarter and just come out exploding in the fourth quarter.
17 seconds to go, third quarter. Wildcat ball at their own 18-yard line. We have to go back to establishing the run, but with Juvensly Bazul, maybe he got injured. We don't know. He kind of limped to the sideline. We'll see who's back there in the backfield.
We got to execute it, though.
We've seen all four, Bazul, Lindsey, Robinson, and Bivens, in the backfield today. I think that's the Wildcats do have an embarrassment of riches at running back. I believe it's Terry Lindsey in the backfield right now, if not Jimmy Robinson. It is Jimmy Robinson running up the middle to the 20, bouncing off tacklers, still moving his feet to the 24-yard line. Nice pickup of 5 there by Robinson.
Good pickup. Looked like ping pong in there. You ever played ping pong? Bing, bing, bing. Just kind of getting hit back and forth and just made it up 5 yards.
That's the end of the third quarter. BCU hanging in there. The one big play was the strip sack, scoop and score, fumble recovery for Jackson State. That's the only scoring play of the third. Bethune-Cookman in the ball game now, down 14-9 as we head to the fourth on the other side of this break. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman University Football on the CatEye Network and 1380 WELE. the sonic boom of the South playing us back in here at Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium. We head to the fourth quarter. It's Bethune-Cookman 9, Jackson State 14. It's a great atmosphere here out of Jackson State.
I'm loving this atmosphere, and the sonic boom is they're celebrating the 50 years of hip-hop, and that's one of them jams right there, Dougie Fresh and the Get Fresh crew.
Bethune-Cookman will have the ball facing 2nd down and 5 when we go back to live. But before that, a word from Nike, the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Gear up on the newest BCU Nike gear at nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. And well, Chris, it's been one heck of a night up here. I'm glad you were able to make the trip and call the game with me, and it's been a blast. The Wildcats have put up a valiant effort right now.
I've been enjoying myself, having a good time with this game this week with you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me here with you.
First play of the fourth quarter is a 2nd down and 5 for Bethune-Cookman from their own 24-yard line, going right to left in the maroon helmets, gold jerseys, and white pants. First play's a handoff. Jimmy Robinson up the middle, trying to move the pile close to a first down.
I think they got it.
That O-line, man, just pushing. First down, BCU at the 30.
Did we not say that? That's how we got to come out in this quarter, to run the game, control the ball, run the ball.
And I was kind of down during the break, saying, oh, well, if the game holds, we can be held our heads high. We played well. And you're saying, we only need 2 field goals. Move the ball.
Let's move the ball. Let's get in field goal range and kick them.
1st and 10, from the 30-yard line. Simmons in the gun. Robinson still there. 4 in the box. Play action. Simmons over the middle. Great defensive play by B.J. Washington to knock that one down on a post. And because if Dakari Allen Johnson is able to make that grab, he's gone.
Well, once he make that grab, it's great. We just need to pinpoint that ball inside a little bit more. It's a small post route coming in, but you got to hit it and hit it all the way in, because the field is wide open.
And there were no high safeties back there. There's no high safeties again. Everybody within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage on the defensive end right now.
They're expecting the run.
Now they send 2 receivers out to the left side. Ball in the middle of the field, 2nd and 10 at the 30. Simmons takes the snap. Play action. Pressure off the edge. Simmons forced to scramble. Picks up a late block. Simmons going to throw it out of bounds. And it's going to be 3rd and 10.
He don't look his same since the injury, but at least he made the spin out and didn't get the sack.
Yep.
So that's a plus. So we coming into the third down, and we just got to execute. They bringing all the safeties up. They expecting to run now.
Not on 3rd and 10. They're going to drop everybody into coverage.
You should.
And they got one guy all the way back near midfield now. That's the single high safety, Kedron Callaghan. But everybody else in the box, 3 linebackers, 4 down linemen, 4 receivers to aim at for Simmons. He takes the snap, stands in the pocket against a 3-man rush. Screen to the left-hand side for Jimmy Robinson. Trying to make one man miss at the 30, 35. He's going to get 5 out of the required 10, and it's going to be 4th and 5, and BCU will punt.
I don't know.
We can't go for this here, can we?
5 yards?
There's
5 yards?
14 minutes left in the game. Yeah, they're going to punt.
Yeah, just punt.
There's 14 minutes left in the game. Your defense has been playing well. Trust them to go get you the ball back. Anthony Frederick has been great punting. He's been putting JSU back deep in their own territory. Nobody's had the ability to do so.
They just hesitated like they wanted to do something.
Yeah. Frederick standing with his heels on the 21-yard line. 7 McGee back at his own 20. Snap to Frederick. No pressure on the punt. He gets it away. High, spiraling, fair catch. Pushes McGee all the way back to the 15, and that's where Jackson State will have it after this break. Jackson State on the ball when we come back, up 14-9. BCU trying to hang in there here in the fourth quarter. You're listening to BCU Football on the CatEye Network and 1380 WELE. Michael Torello, Chris Shaw from high atop Veterans Memorial Stadium here in Jackson, Mississippi. 13:23 to go in the contest. The Tigers and Wildcats in a defensive struggle. The difference in the game right now, a scoop and score fumble recovery for Jackson State early on in the third quarter. That's really been the only thing separating these two teams right now.
That's the only thing. It's been a defensive battle on both sides. But Bethune-Cookman is going to have to step up and force a turnover somewhere along this series right here to get the ball back since we're on this side of the turf.
Jackson State at their own 15-yard line, 1st and 10, going left to right, wearing the all-red, blue helmets, blue numbers, white trim. It is Jason Brown back in at quarterback. Handoff up the middle. Mulligan free space to run. 30-35, tripped up at the 40. That's the best offensive play of the night for Jackson State.
That gap, that C gap wide open and coming through every single time when Jackson State is down with their back against the wall. Well, I'm sorry, they're back against the end zone, right?
25-yard run for Irv Mulligan sets Jackson State up at the 40-yard line, going left to right. Mulligan takes the handoff again, trying to pick his way through traffic. Tackled for only a 1-yard gain by Adrian Hall. 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, Adrian Hall saw it coming, and he was able to get right in there and stop it.
Adrian Hall, a 3-time district champion at Rockledge High School. Powerhouse down there on the Space Coast.
That's it. That's what they're known for, boosting, pumping, iron. Space Coast.
Transferred in from Tennessee Tech, did Hall after his freshman year. We played 5 games, only made 3 tackles. Now Jackson State really trying to take the air out of this game, using all the play clock, down under 10 seconds now. They're not even ready to snap the ball. Now they're set. 3 receivers left, single right, 2nd and 9 from the 40. Brown, corner route, caught at the 50-yard line in space, pulling defenders into BCU territory close to the 40-yard line. Rico Powers, he leads the SWAC in receiving. We've kept him in check for the majority tonight, but that's his 2nd catch, and it's a big one.
Yeah, we gotta work something out because Jackson State is looking at us to stop the run, trying to figure out how to stop the run, and they're gonna play action.
1st and 10 for Jackson State, now in BCU territory at the 43. Brown takes the snap, pressure comes, he looks, he throws deep down the near side hash. It's intercepted by Omari Hill-Robinson. He runs it back to the middle, 15, 10, 20. He's got a lane to the 30, being caught at the 40. He's going to be stumbled out of bounds at the 45-yard line. That is the play we needed.
That's what I said. Defense got to step up somewhere along this ball game and make something happen with a turnover. And that's exactly what he did.
Oh my, Omari. He took an overthrown ball from Jason Brown and ran it back almost 50 yards.
Jackson State drew back and threw the ball, and he was just right on the inside to catch it as he was going down, as he was targeting the receiver.
He ran the route for the receiver. He had inside position on the numbers. Great job defensively.
But the important part is that he caught it, spent around, and came back upfield trying to get us at least close to the 50.
Yeah, because he caught that ball at the 10-yard line.
Right.
His momentum took him all the way almost to the goal line, but he ended up getting all the way to the 42, where BCU has it now 1st and 10 going right to left. This could be the break the Wildcats need here in this 4th quarter, down by 5. Simmons in at quarterback. Heavy set look with Demanye Moore in at fullback. Snap, handoff, Robinson trying to hit the B gap, running left. He bounces off a tackle, gets 4. Close to the 45.
Right, so this is now it's our turn to utilize what we can. We down by 5, a touchdown to give us up by 1, with an extra point, give us by 2.
Yeah, we were up by 1 before that strip sack and the no good 2-point conversion. Yeah, Jackson State, if you're just joining us as the timeout is on the field, Jackson State, if you're just joining us, they don't have a kicker tonight that is on the roster. Their main kicker, Gerardo Bezea, is injured and unavailable, so they're starting one of the women's soccer team players, Leilani Armenta, has been doing kickoffs and really fooling BCU, and they've caused 2 to be fumbled and 1 a turnover.
Yeah, her kicks are coming up not as strong as they thought it should be, but it's been coming up short. So as it comes up short, Bethune-Cookman is miscuing instead of just falling on the ball. They're trying to reach the ball and missing the cues. Stay
up to date with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook, and follow the Wildcats on Twitter and Instagram at BCU_athletics. For the latest on BCU football, follow at BCU Gridiron on Twitter and Instagram. Let's get you through a couple of statistics, a couple of statistical leaders with 11:14 to go in the fourth quarter. Tackles, De'Aris Thomas leads all with 8. Shelton Quarles also has 8. Kevrick Wiggins has 6 for Jackson State. It says Bethune-Cookman doesn't have a sack. I guess they must have credited it as a tackle for loss.
They didn't count that as a sack?
They didn't count that as a sack. Isaac Peppers has 1. Carlton Goodell has 1 for Jackson State. Walter Simmons, 90.8 on his quarterback rating. Jason Brown, 95.5. Passing yards, Simmons 124, Jason Brown 21. Zy McDonald came in for 2 plays and is thrown for -2 yards for Jackson State. Receptions, Davino Ellington with 4, Chink Boyd with 3, Dakari Allen Johnson with 2, Fabian McCray with 5, Rico Powers 2, 7 McGee 2. Receiving yards, Dakari Allen Johnson only has 2 catches, but he's gone for 58 yards through the air. He's the game leader in reception yards. Fabian McCray has 51 for Jackson State. Rushing yards, Walter Simmons 28, Juvenzli Bazul 18, Jimmy Robinson 10. Irv Mulligan 87 yards on the ground for Jackson State. That's really where they've been hurting us.
Well, that ground run for Jackson State, when they open up and go to those C gaps and those 3 gaps, it opens up for them to get open down the field, and that's how they've been getting their yardage in on the run game. But Bethune-Cookman got to come in and figure out a way to get a stop.
2nd down and 7 for Bethune-Cookman from their own 45-yard line.
And let's get all the kids off the field. Let's make sure all the kids get off the field.
Yeah, we had a during a timeout little event.
The little tiny tight.
The mascots ushering them off the field. Now Simmons claps his hands, takes the snap, handoff Robinson up the middle. No, Simmons is going to keep. He's going to heave down the right-hand numbers, incomplete. And he just threw that one away, trying to fake out the defense. They were not fooled. 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, that play blew up for Bethune-Cookman in the backfield and forced Walter to get out and throw the ball.
Another 3rd and long, though, and JSU's been sitting back and pinning their ears back and getting off the field on 3rd down tonight.
So we need 7 yards for a 1st down.
Got to get past midfield to the 48-yard line. Ball on the 45 of Bethune-Cookman. 6 seconds on the play clock. 3 receivers, snap to Simmons. He's got time. Now he escapes to his left, looking for somebody open. Nobody's open, and he's just going to have to scramble out of bounds. 4th down, only a gain of 1.
Yeah, he's looking down the field trying to open up, but that coverage was great for Jackson State in coverage, so he had no choice but to at least try to run up the field and get some yardage.
And because we're not getting much on 1st and 2nd down, they were letting Jackson State drop 8 guys in coverage and having Simmons nowhere to throw the football.
But see, this is when your IQ should open up where, all right, well, cool, they're dropping back now. Let's hook and curl in the middle. Do some quick over routes in the middle and pinpoint the ball and throw quick, fast, in a hurry.
Bethune-Cookman 0 for 13 on 3rd down. We are 2 for 2 on 4th down.
Right.
But 0 for 13 on 3rd down. Frederic got a punt from his own 45. He gets the kick away. It's short. It's going to land at the Jackson State 20, take a BCU bounce inside the 15. Oh, still going inside the 10, down to the 8. Another great Anthony Frederic punt.
So this is where Bethune-Cookman defense is going to have to come in and shut down the C gaps and the 30 gaps, because Jackson State has been running that ball in that gap, running it.
Of course, Irv Mulligan, 87 yards on the ground, close to 100, and he'll probably get it before the game is done. And now every time now they get the ball with 9:57 to go in the game, they're going to run, burn clock, shorten this game, give Bethune-Cookman as few opportunities as possible to get back into it. I think we may have to see another big defensive play.
We got to see a big defensive stop somewhere, forcing a fumble, turning the ball over. Somewhere in this game right here in this series is going to make the big difference while you're down on this end of the field.
Jackson State's been backed up 4 times inside their own 10. They have not, well, they've gotten past the 50 on every one of those drives. Handoff Irv Mulligan right up the middle. Again, C-gap, but this time the Wildcats do stop it. Only a 1-yard gain. Tackle made by De'Aris Thomas.
Yeah, great job. And that's what they're going to have to do this game, because now that you're stopping this, it's going to have to force you to pass the ball.
It's going to be 35 seconds. Every time they run a play, 35 seconds coming off that clock. And now we're down under 9:30 to go in the ball game. 2nd down and 9 after the gain of 1 at the 11-yard line. Mulligan patient behind his blockers into the secondary, close to a 1st down at the 18-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
Yeah, they come in right through that gap. So now you fix one side of the field on the C gap. Now you got to fix the other side on the C gap.
Yep.
So you got to close it in just a little tighter.
3rd down and 1. Mulligan still in there in the backfield with Brown in the gun. 2 linebackers for BCU. Tight end moves right to left. Snap. Handoff. Mulligan. Nowhere to go. He spun out of De'Aris Thomas's tackle and got a 1st down.
Yeah.
And there is some wrestling going on behind the play between a wide receiver and a cornerback for Bethune-Cookman, but they barely got that 1st down. It looked like Amari Jones was going to stop him, but he just slipped out of it.
It was that spin. Jackson State been spinning all night. It looked like a record, just spin every time you get touched.
1st down for Jackson State at their own 20-yard line. 8:30 to go ball game. Brown going to throw this time. Looking near side. Comebackers complete to Powers. Powers pushed out of bounds at the 27. Gain of 7.
Yeah, Omari Hill Robinson right there on the ankle tackle to stop that ball from advancing any further.
2nd down and 3 for Jackson State.
As you can see, Jackson State is running those post-comeback routes too now on their receiver.
Huge substitution for Bethune-Cookman. 4 guys came off and 4 guys came on. 4 receivers all to the left. Brown takes the snap. Handoff. Trying to go left where the blocks are and picking his way to the 30, spinning, driven backwards, but not before a 1st down is made. Ahmad Miller was on the run that time. Gain of 4, 1st down Jackson State. Time continues to tick off the clock.
So they are sliding down the field trying to stop those gaps and fill in those gaps, but the defense is getting pushed back just a little bit. So defense got to hold their ground with the 4 new guys that just came in too.
There is a flag down. Hold on. Offensive holding. Penalty number 6 on the game for Jackson State. VCU's only been penalized once.
One time, yeah. So, like I said, somebody's smiling down and giving us some opportunity. So now we got to take advantage of it.
It takes a first down off the board for Jackson State. Stops the clock, puts JSU all the way back at the 17-yard line. So now it's 2nd down and 13 after the 10-yard penalty instead of 2nd and 3. 3 receivers right, single left, ball left hash. Hayden Hagler in motion right to left. Brown takes the snap, pressure in his face. He rolls, he throws it short over the middle of the 20. It's caught and wrestled down right there by the BCU defense. Only a gain of 3. Amari Jones in on the stop.
Yeah, right. He was right there on it. He saw it coming. He stayed home. He didn't drop back any further. He didn't come up any closer. He stayed right at home and left that wide open so he can execute the tackle.
That was a little shovel pass to the running back Miller out of the backfield, the freshman from Memphis, Tennessee. Now 3rd down and 11 from the 19. Wildcats show blitz off the left-hand edge. 3 defensive backs in on the line. Now they back up. Clock goes under 5 seconds to snap. Now the snap comes. It's face mask high. Brown moving, looking, throwing over the middle, and it's caught. Oh, it's dropped.
He dropped it.
Wide open at the 40-yard line, and there's a late flag. Oh, no. Fabian McCray dropped what would have been a 4th down, and there was going to be a late hit.
Yeah, late hit. Dees. Looked like number 5, Darnell Dees, with a late hit. Let's see what the referee called.
A backbreaker for BCU. $15-yard penalty and bails out Jackson State. They were about to turn the ball over again.
Yeah, penalties can make and break you, like I said at the beginning of the game.
We were praising Bethune-Cookman. That's only their 2nd penalty of the game, but both of them have gifted Jackson State extensions on drives.
But, I mean, he was only doing his job. His back was turned. He looked like he caught the ball, but the ball dropped, so he was just coming in and execute the tackle.
After the penalty, 1st and 10 for the Tigers from the 34-yard line left to right. Pitch to the running back Moultrie, waits for his blocks to develop. They will not develop. He's wrestled down to the 30-yard line. Adrian Hall and Conroy Cunningham combined to make the tackle. Boos start to come out from this Jackson State crowd.
He just ran into a pool of gold jerseys right there. He had nowhere to go. They closed the door.
Yep. And there's a Bethune-Cookman Wildcat down on the field. And it's Adrian Hall. And the injury bug bites BCU again.
This is what's been hurting BCU all season long.
Top two quarterbacks out, top running back out, now top defensive end out, potentially. We'll take a break and be right back. BCU trying to stay in it, down 14-9 with 6:40 to go here on the CatEye Network and 1380 WELE. Fans, homecoming is right around the corner. Come out and rep your Wildcats on Saturday, October 14th as BCU hosts Texas Southern for another crucial SWAC matchup. Kickoff is set for 3 p.m. Get your tickets today at the BCU box office or at Ticketmaster.com.
Homecoming is something that you don't want to miss at Bethune-Cookman down in Daytona Beach.
And as we are still in this injury timeout for Adrian Hall, I see you doing some research over there. What are you looking at, Chris?
Yeah, I was trying to see, has there ever been any history of women playing football in the HBCU? So I hadn't come across anything just yet, but I'm still looking. I'm still searching. I'm going to find it.
Next game, keep looking. And next game, when we're up in Alabama in 2 weeks, get back to me on that, because that's an interesting little tidbit.
It is. We've seen, like you said, we've seen it at Vanderbilt. Now we're seeing it here for the first time at Jackson State.
All right. Jackson State back on offense after the loss of 2 on first down and the timeout. They're at their own 32-yard line, second down and 12. Brown for the first time in an I formation with Mulligan behind him. 3 receivers bunched to the far side left. Fake handoff, jet sweep to the left-hand side. It's blown up in the backfield all the way at the 25. Woo, boy, De'Aris Thomas like a rocket into the backfield.
He came right out and just saw it and opened up, and bam, there it go. He said, not this time. Access denied.
They faked the handoff, then handed it off to Isaiah Spencer, who was coming across the formation.
Because we never seen that lineup before from Jackson State with the shotgun, running back behind you in the power I formation almost. Fake the handoff, spin around, and the motion out, wide receiver come and grab it.
Third down and 26 from the 26-yard line. Brown looking, screen pass knocked away.
Wow.
Great job. Trying to see who made that play. Conroy Cunningham, yeah. Came up and made that play.
He came right in and saw the play and just stuck his hands right out and deflected the ball. Almost had a pick.
Yeah. I think the ball was a little bit too far away from him. He was diving to try and get that, bat that ball down, but still a great play.
Yeah, it was a great play.
And now the Wildcats are going to get the ball potentially in decent field position as Matt Knoll is punting from his own 10-yard line.
This is going to be the key right here.
Knoll rolls, punts. It's blocked, partially blocked, and goes straight up in the air and falls in Jackson State territory, out of bounds at the 46-yard line.
Right at Bethune. This is the break that Bethune-Cookman needed to have right here offensively so they can get down the field and at least score.
Omari Stewart, wide receiver playing special teams, got a fingertip to that punt.
And that's all it took, just a little bit. And Jackson State has been playing like that the whole game, as if they didn't want to punt the ball, and it helped out.
That time Knoll waited a little bit too long to try and get that punt away.
So it helped out on Bethune-Cookman's side of the ball. So now that Bethune-Cookman has this side of the ball on their turf, on their side of the field, let's see what we can do and execute.
We've got to try and establish the run and try and stick with it.
Push.
First down and 10, Bethune-Cookman at the 43. They got even better, a more generous spot than I thought they were going to.
5:11 to go in the fourth quarter.
Down by 5. BCU still in this ball game. Simmons in at quarterback. Robinson sidecar left. Simmons to throw. Over the middle, caught. You were talking about those comebackers. It's a 9-yard post up the middle to
Overton.
Khalil Overton. Yeah, you were talking about those comebackers.
Yeah, right in the middle because they're looking for the run, so you hit the comeback route and you got it.
9-yard pickup, 2nd and 1. 3 receivers are bunched all the way almost to the Jackson State bench. They try and set up the screen. Simmons going to run. He's going to throw near side left. Caught near the 20-yard line. First down to Corey Allen Johnson.
Right there, and look, it's right there. He did a post, a hook and curl.
And
that's all it was.
And fantastic job by Simmons to realize that the screen wasn't there and go to the second read.
And he got no choice but to step over to the pocket
Uh-oh.
for moments like that.
I think they called the play incomplete. They say Dakari Allen Johnson stepped out of bounds. So now it's 3rd and 1. They bring the big package in, Nabanye Moore and a big fella, Jamari Sylvester, 6'5", 333 in the ball game. They're just going to try and pound this ball forward.
That's what you do. You push it on the 1-yard line. Just go right up, quit spinning, power football.
At the 34, need the 33. Handoff, Robinson pushing forward. He didn't get it. He did not get it.
It's got to be forward progress. It's got to be forward progress.
Devontae Davis looked like he stopped him short.
Bring the chain gang out.
One referee looked like he spotted it ahead.
Bring the
One
chain
referee
gang
looked
out.
like he spotted it behind 4th down. They're not even going to measure it. Offense on the field.
Let's stay right here. Let's stay right here.
Bethune-Cookman 2 out of 2 on 4th down conversions so far in this game. This is a massive play. 4th and 1 for Bethune-Cookman. Simmons, hard count, snap. He's going to throw. He's going to scramble up the middle. He's got the first down. No, he's close. He's very close. It's going to depend on the spot.
You got one referee point.
Oh, Jackson State ball. Wow. And
you gotta be kidding me.
I can't believe they're not going to measure that.
That needs to be measured. That needs to be measured.
And the Wildcats are on the offensive lines arguing for it.
That needs to be measured.
But Jackson State's going to have the ball. Wow. 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. Jackson State holds.
Look at the position of this ball. Look at the pylon of where the first down marker was. No, that needs to be read.
Well, it's not going to be, unfortunately, and Bethune-Cookman's luck may have just run out. 3:50 to go in the game. That might have been their best chance. And Bethune-Cookman hasn't sent their defense on the field yet. They're all huddling towards their bench. Now they slowly walk towards the field.
Hit the replay button.
And unfortunately, I don't think we have replay in the game because there's no reason you wouldn't go to replay on that if you had the replay capability.
That was a real close call, and there's no way in the world that should have been a turnover.
Well, the play clock only now starts running, and Bethune-Cookman was still all the way on the defensive side. Quick snap for Jackson State. They could catch BCU off guard here, and they do. Mulligan in free space, 40, 50, and he's gone. All the way, a 67-yard touchdown run for Irv Mulligan. Bethune-Cookman was still angry that they didn't get the first down spot. The defense ran on the field late. It was a quick snap from Jackson State, and that's going to be the game right there.
3:38 left in the game, 20-9. Jackson State over Bethune-Cookman University. Defense not ready to play.
No, they were not ready.
Defense wasn't ready to play.
They were still holding out hope that they was going to go to a review or they were going to get the call overturned, and they just weren't ready. They weren't in the right positions, and that was the easiest touchdown run Irv Mulligan's going to score all season.
Yeah. Wow. Can't believe that just happened. Right in hands reach.
Brutal.
Right there.
Absolutely brutal. That is an absolute gun punch for a Wildcats team that has played so well all game long. And this score, they're going to go for 2. It's 20-9. They haven't gotten a 2-point conversion all game. Here's the snap, shovel pass, 2-point conversion is good. Now it's going to be 21-9. And this score does not represent the effort that BCU has showed all game.
It doesn't show what this game we've been watching all night. That was just it should have been a call or a replay, something to show that first down was there. Even on the 4th down, before it was became 4th down, we thought it was a first down.
Okay, so the third, I didn't think he got there on 3rd down, but 4th down, it definitely looked like it deserved at least a measure.
Right, it did.
And I wonder why they didn't. I wonder why they didn't measure it.
And I think that's what Coach Woody was upset about, because you seen him coming out to the field trying to say, hey, that's not right. That's our ball still. And that's what took so long for the defense to come out, because defense didn't know if they should play or they should be on the sideline.
So Jackson State now up 22-9, and with 3:38 left, and the BCU offense not really ticking on all cylinders right now. You got to think that's probably it. But 100% credit to this BCU team. They played really hard all game, and
they've been in this game the whole entire time. They've been right here the whole game. So special teams got to show up right here.
Another short kick caught, and good job by the up man to just go down.
Yeah, just go down. Flag on the play. There's a flag coming out.
Leilani Armenta kicked it right to the midfield stripe, and BCU will have it probably around the 48. We'll check this what this flag is, but I'm still stunned.
I'm flabbergasted on that
still
last.
Stunned. As some of the fans wearing red here at Jackson State. They're going to call late hit against Jackson State, give us a free 15 yards. We'll start in Jackson State territory, but some of the fans have seen enough, and they are headed for the exits, and some cars already leaving the parking lot here.
That's the thing about football. You never know what to expect, because anything can happen in 3 minutes and 37 seconds. Bethune-Cookman is getting ready to come back out here. Offense is lined up.
They'll start at the Jackson State 40.
We've been in baseball numbers the whole game up until about now.
Yep.
22-9, Jackson State over Bethune-Cookman.
1st and 10, BCU at the Jackson State 40. Simmons claps once, now twice. Takes the snap, looks to throw against the 4-man rush, complete on a crossing pattern and out of bounds near the 30-yard line. Goes Khalil Overton, his second catch of the night. 9-yard pickup stops the clock.
And that's going to be this is how you got to use your clock now. Run them out routes, use the out of bounds, and let's get down the field and score. We can get into the end zone. We just need defense to come back and play.
2nd down and 1 at the 31. Look where we are, exactly where we were last time.
Yeah.
Snap to Simmons, handoff Jimmy Robinson, bounces off a tackle, falls forward. 1st down, BCU at the 30.
If we can just get in here so we can stop this clock and use the clock to our advantage. Out routes, out of bounds, get the ball, catch, step out. Get the ball, catch, step out, 1st down.
Outside of 2 minutes, new rules, clock doesn't stop even for the move of the change.
Yeah, that's the hard part about it now.
So clock running, 2:40 to go in the ball game. BCU trying for one last gasp on offense here. Simmons, late blitz. He's going to escape out the back door to the 30. Now throw down the numbers. And stepping out of bounds is Khalil Overton again, inside the 20, down to the 16. Good field awareness there by Simmons to know he was still behind the line of scrimmage and can throw the ball.
Right.
Because I thought he was just going to take off. 1st and 10 for Bethune-Cookman. They'll spot the ball at the Jackson State 17. Simmons takes the snap. Blitz. He throws over the middle. Diving catch in the end zone. Touchdown Bethune-Cookman. Touchdown Maroon and Gold. Dakari Allen Johnson.
Dakari just came right in and a good inside route because everybody came in.
A well-executed post route. They brought the safety on the blitz. Simmons had just enough time to throw that ball over the middle, and D.A.J. made a great play.
All right, so what we're going to have to do from here on out, we know Jackson State is going to try to run the ball. We know that's what they're going to do, so let's kick this extra point, make it get the score to 16.
Cade Hector on for the extra point. His only extra point attempt of the game was blocked back in the 1st half. Hector now walking up to talk to his holder, Ethan Datilio. We're getting a wait symbol from the
referees.
Maybe they were reviewing the touchdown, but now it's ready to kick.
It's too late to review anything now. Let's kick. Let's play.
Snap, hold, kick. Good. 2:05 to go, 22-16.
It's still a game.
6-point game.
6 down. We're only down by 6 points now.
And so I'm wondering, I want to put you in the mind of Coach Woody. Do you kick it deep, or do you try and onside it? You've got 2 timeouts, no 2-minute warning, obviously, because we're in college.
I would kick it deep and penetrate and try to stop the ball down here somewhere between the 10 and the 20 and keep it within here. That way we can execute that run play that they keep running on us, opening up those C gaps and force a turnover.
Coming up next for Bethune-Cookman, they got a bye week next week. We'll be all about the volleyball at Moore Gymnasium. 2 games, one on Friday, one on Sunday. And then we're on the road for the 3rd of 3 straight road games at Alabama State, the 7th of October. Chris and I will have the call from Montgomery, Alabama.
Oh, Montgomery, Alabama. This is going to be the key right here. Special teams can come out. If special teams can turn the ball over off a fumble somewhere, this will turn the game. This can turn the game.
Coming up next for Jackson State to go on the road, they're at Alabama A&M. An Alabama A&M team that just beat Arkansas Pine Bluff Thursday night. And it looks like they are setting up for an onside kick here. Everybody up. The deepest man is at the 35-yard line, Cade Hector, this would be his first ever onside kick attempt in his life. Lined up at the 35. Here we go. It's rolling, bouncing high. It's almost grabbed by Bethune-Cookman, but Jackson State will have it. Jackson State has it at the 48-yard line. It was a high bounce. Davino Ellington reached up for it and just couldn't pull it down. And now we got to hope for a stop with 2:04 to go.
So you don't want to. The reason I would say, if you kick it deep, you keep them down here on this end. You got more chances than opening up the gap. Remember, when Jackson State get right here near the 50, they open up the floodgates and it just opens up for them.
All right, here we go. Defense needs to stop, and they need it quick. 2 timeouts, 2:04 to go, down by 6, 22-16. 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line for Jackson State. Handoff running left. Nowhere to go. Bouncing off tacklers near the 50 and wrestled down. Gain of only 1. That was, I believe, Evans on the carry. Or no, it was Miller on the carry, excuse me. And BCU calls their second timeout.
Well, it looks like in other games, Florida A&M pulled out the win 23-10, the final score over Alabama State. Alcorn State lost to Prairie View 23-20. So
that's out in the West, Western Conference. But Florida A&M, team to beat in the East this year. They've already beaten Jackson State. Now they've beaten Alabama State. And I know anything can happen when it comes to classic time, but that Rattlers team looks pretty scary this year.
They do, but I got a couple of young people from my area that goes up to FAMU and plays on the team, and they already called and said, "Hey, Mr. Shaw, we waiting this year. We ready this year." I said, "Well, keep on waiting because we coming back too."
It will be 2nd down and 8 after a 2-yard run at the BCU 49. Bethune-Cookman only has 1 timeout left. So even with a 3 and out here, there's going to be maybe 30 seconds left, 20 seconds left if BCU gets the ball back.
But you can do a lot in 20.
But we got to stop the run now.
We got to stop everything here and now.
2nd and 8 from the 49. The Jackson State crowd tries to get behind their offense. It's thinned out a little bit, but still a pretty good crowd out here.
It's still a pretty
late in the 4th quarter. Brown in the gun. Snap to him. He's going to throw. Now quarterback draw, take off, and run. Push forward for 1, maybe 2 yards before the maroon and gold stop him up. And timeout Bethune-Cookman. Their final timeout with 1:46 to go. It'll bring up a Jackson State 3rd down and 6 on the other side of this timeout.
Defensively, their defense has been out here. They've been doing their part all night long, especially in the secondary. They haven't had opened up a whole lot in the secondary with a turnover with an interception in the secondary. So defensively, they've been out here doing their part. I can understand they're probably a little exhausted, a little tired maybe, but this is the time to dig deep.
So let's do some math here, right? If you stop them on 3rd down, they're going to have 35 seconds to snap the ball, 1:46 to go, so that takes it down to just over a minute. then 35 more seconds to punt the ball. That takes it down to about 35, 40 seconds. And you're going to have the ball deep because they're in good field position.
Right. So
with no timeouts.
So what do you do? What do you do?
You got to try and force a fumble here. 3rd and 6 for Jackson State. Handoff. Mulligan running left. Mulligan in open space. And it's a first down. Ball game over. At the 40-yard line, Irv Mulligan. He's been the thorn in BCU's side all game. And wait a minute.
Is that a flag?
Maybe a flag. There is a flag on the play. If it's on Jackson State, this game's not over.
Might be holding on Jackson State.
It is holding. Penalty number 7 on the Tigers on the night. So now it's going to be 3rd down and
a distance to go.
13, 14, depending on where they spot the ball. They're going to spot it all the way back inside Jackson State territory at the 46.
Well, at least they're catching all the holding calls now. I saw a few earlier. But, you can catch them when you catch them.
Listen, referees have a tough job.
They do. They do.
They ain't going to get everything. They'll spot the ball at the 45. Excuse me. They've moved it back 1 more yard. 3rd down and...
Right on the 45.
Yep. So 3rd down and 15. It's just going to be a handoff. Mulligan up the middle, past midfield to the BCU 45 down there. 1:30 to go. And timeout Bethune-Cookman. That's the scoreboard says they don't have any timeouts left. And if they call the timeout with none left, that's a personal foul, and the game is over because you give Jackson State a first down. They are going to give BCU the 3rd and final timeout, and it's going to be 4th and 4. Now, if you're Jackson State, do you go for this and try and put the game away and risk giving BCU the ball at the 45 instead of punting it and having them deep in their own territory?
Well, if I'm Jackson State, let me see what I can do with only 5 yards to go.
Yeah.
We up. What do we have to lose? We've been running a great ball, so put the ball in our running back hands and go right through the gap where we've been.
They're going to try Irv Mulligan to the C gap again. I'd bet on it. If they come out, they're not going to, though. They're going to punt the ball. They're going to play safe. I think this is the right decision, right? Because Bethune-Cookman has not beaten them with the offense tonight. It's been defense, it's been special teams, setting Bethune-Cookman's offense up in easy positions for them to make plays. The offense has not created its own luck.
So if special teams can make something happen out of this would be awesome for a great punt return.
Darnell Dees stands at the 15-yard line. Flag on the play. Dees runs up. The punt was maybe blocked at the line again. It's taking a BCU bounce. It's going to roll at the 30. That's a 5-yard punt back to the 40. There is a flag down way in the secondary where Darnell Dees set up. I have no idea what's going to be there.
Wow.
So Matt Knoll, I was watching the returner. I didn't see if there was a hand on the punt, but that punt went straight up in the air and straight back down, only about a 5-yard punt.
Yeah, Jackson State going to have to work on some kicking this week.
Let's see what this is. No way. Illegal substitution on Bethune-Cookman. First down, Jackson State. Ball game over.
Yep, 1:18 left in the 4th quarter.
I think they had 12 men on the field. Because the flag was thrown right at the snap. They must have had 12 men on the field.
Yikes. So that automatically gives Jackson State the first
down. Because it was 4 yards to go. That gives them 5 yards. It's not an automatic first down, but it is a first down, and Jackson State will be in victory formation. And we praised this team for not being penalized, and a penalty cost you the game. Cost you a chance at the game.
At the end of the game is what a penalty kick in. That penalties make or break you, though. We've said that. We said that since the beginning of the game.
BCU only penalized 3 times tonight. The 3rd one is the one that ends the game. Victory formation for Jackson State. They'll kneel this one out 2 more times, and we'll go home with our heads bowed, unfortunately.
Let's talk about it. Bethune had some positive things to show all game. We did get some movement down the field. We did show that we can march down the field, and this is what was needed to show how we're going to respond in the conference play.
Jackson State is going to get out, and they're going to probably feel like they've escaped tonight because, let's be honest, the Tigers, outside of Irv Mulligan, haven't really played all that well. But Bethune-Cookman has put the Tigers in spots to give them the game. And maybe a call here or there goes our way. It's a different ball game. We can't dwell on that. We can only play what's in front of us. And unfortunately, the end of the game is 22-16. Jackson State wins.
Where's the replay? That's what I want to know, because that replay, I think that third and fourth down right here on this end of the field before we could turn the ball over would have been a determining factor for the game.
Your final score is the clock hits triple zeros and the teams shake hands at midfield. Jackson State 22, Bethune-Cookman 16. The fireworks go off over the locker room. Here are your team stats. Jackson State 18 first downs to BCU's 14. Jackson State 42 carries for 261 yards. That was the game.
Yeah,
that was the
whole
game. 58 yards on 25 carries for Bethune-Cookman. Only 2.3 yards a carry on average. Not a great night running the ball. 19 receptions for 172 yards for Bethune-Cookman. 9.1 yards a reception. That's pretty darn good.
That's pretty amazing.
And Walter Simmons played really well today.
Yeah, it's some executions that we need to execute on offensively, getting the ball down the field. We know what we can do. But the thing that I believe that hurt us most predominantly tonight defensively was those C gaps being left open and not being eligible to be filled.
Both teams turned the ball over one time, both on interceptions. Nobody fumbled. No, but sorry, Bethune-Cookman turned the ball over 3 times. 2 fumbles, 1 interception. And, of course, that fumble that was taken back for a touchdown early in the third quarter really swung the momentum. Yeah, and that was probably the backbreaker for BCU. And they were in the game. They were leading the game. Strip sack, fumble recovery, touchdown, and that was it.
That was a turnover bracket. That was a turnover point right there for Bethune off that fumble, that forced fumble. When you're down at the 1-yard line, all you need to do is just pound in and power football. 3
penalties, 30 yards for Bethune-Cookman. 8 penalties for 84 yards for Jackson State. In the end, it doesn't matter. To quote Lincoln Park. Jackson State punted 8 times. They had 32 minutes of possession. BCU 26 minutes of possession. Again, we've got to work on time possession and controlling the ball and sustaining drives. BCU 0 of 14 on third down.
0 and 14 on third down possession.
Theirs is what Josh Pate would call a paper pop stats.
Yeah.
4 of 15 on third down for Jackson State. 2 of 3 on fourth down for BCU. Of course, maybe should have been 3 of 3, but we can't dwell on that.
So,
that's your team stats. Individual statistical leaders. Dearest Thomas led everybody with 10 tackles. Shelton Quarles had 8. Quan Harris had 6. On for Jackson State, Kevrick Wiggins had 6. Isaac Peppers had 6. Antonio Doyle had 5. No, Bethune-Cookman not credited with a sack. 2 sacks for Jackson State. 1 to Isaac Peppers and a half each to Tim Stewart and Antonio Doyle. Walter Simmons had a 108.1 QB rating, 91.1 for Jason Brown. Walter Simmons, 172 yards passing. Jason Brown just 90 passing. Tink Boyd had 4 receptions. Dakari Allen Johnson and Khalil Overton also had 4. Fabian McCray had 7. Rico Powers 2. 7 McGee 2. Receiving yards, Dakari Allen Johnson 75. Davino Wellington 43. Tink Boyd 34 for the Bethune-Cookman side. For Jackson State, Fabian McCray had 60 yards receiving. 7 McGee had 16. Rico Powers had 16. Rushing yards, Walter Simmons 29. Juvensley Bazul 18, Jimmy Robinson 11, and here's the big stat. Irv Mulligan 174 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. He was the X factor for Jackson State tonight.
That was a major factor for Jackson State coming in through those gaps and opening up the field, and it worked out for them. It worked out for them.
Irv Mulligan just announced as the player of the game here, as well he should be. Almost 200 yards on the ground and 2 scores. Really was the thing that there was a couple of different breaking points in this game for Bethune-Cookman.
Oh, yeah.
Not getting the C gap and letting Irv Mulligan rush, especially in the second half. But you can point to more specifically that 4th down conversion that maybe should have been the penalty when you might have got the ball back on 4th down and Jackson State could ice the game. But in the end, it all comes together to create not as complete a performance as the coaching staff would have wanted.
Yeah, and I know the coach Woody and the rest of the coaching staff was looking at film, watching everything, understood everything, but they just didn't see this coming to execute that C gap. That C gap is what killed us for Jackson State running game.
Once again, your final score from Veterans Memorial Stadium here in Mississippi. The Jackson State Tigers 22, the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats 16. I think when we look back on this game, we will applaud the fight of BCU to stay in this game. We didn't know what BCU we were going to see in this game, and I think we can be happy of where the trajectory of this team is going.
Yeah, it's in a good direction. It's in a good path, and it's a lot closer than what it's been in the past since we've been in this conference with Jackson State. Jackson State, you know, of course, we talked about it at the beginning, how they won both games with us under the Deion Sanders era. Now we under the TC era and the Coach Woody era. So it's a good turnout, and I see positive things coming for Bethune-Cookman University.
But again, just not a complete game. There's good things there. They didn't put it all together tonight.
So maybe this bye week will be a grateful help. Get some extra work in for the Wildcats and come back to the next game, execute, and demolish.
Bye week for Bethune-Cookman. They'll next take the field on October 7th at Alabama State. We'll be there to cover it here on the CatEye Network. 3 volleyball matches coming your way. One tomorrow afternoon at noon, Bethune-Cookman versus Alabama State. Next Friday evening, Bethune-Cookman volleyball hosting Mississippi Valley. And then next Sunday, the Bethune-Cookman volleyball Wildcats will host Jackson State.
Well, you got to get ready for them lady cats. The volleyball team hit a little different. They like to come in, they excited, and they ready to play.
That'll do it for all of us here at CatEye Network Radio in Jackson, Mississippi. For the best media team in the SWAC, Eugene Robinson, Bryce Hoynoski, Director of the CatEye Network and Director of Communications, respectively. For my co-host Chris Shaw, my name is Michael Torello. Thank you so much for listening to us tonight. We'll be back in Daytona Beach.
Hey, thanks for
and
having
we'll see
me.
you home. Good night.
Good night.